1.
Hello everyone, welcome to Attract Mode presented by Lady Arcaders. My name is Selcouthmind, or Self for short. And first off, my apologies, I am just recovering from a bad cold, so if I sound a little funny, don't worry about it. I am here, I am excited for this. We shall be having a great time. I hope you enjoyed our little break off. We had a little break last week for some big event, I don't know, called AGDQ. Just a little event that happened last week, but we are back now with some exciting things tonight. But first, if you would like to be on a Lady Arcaders Attract Mode, we have openings. We are looking for runs for February. So if you've got a showcase you'd like to show off to the world, submit your idea to Attract Mode. You can submit any type of showcase as long as it's game related. Want to go fast? Want to show off your Animal Crossing town? Want to paint a mural? Want to compose some music? Want to make a video game related pie? Want to show off your game dev skills? Those are all great. We would love to see any and all of that, or whatever exciting idea you have. Visit ladyarcaders.com for more details about that. We also have the Lady Arcaders newsletter, which is new and exciting, hot off the press. And if you missed it at the start of this month, we are excited to make sure to bring a closer look at our community and celebrate their achievements in a more in-depth format than a lot of our smaller social posts will let us do. If you'd like to learn more about that, type !newsletter in chat, and that will give you a sign-up link. Trust me, I've seen the first edition. Very good. But that's enough for now about Lady Arcaders. Of course, you can always visit ladyarcaders.com for more information, but for now, it is time to get to our run and chat. I hope you have your dance emotes ready. I hope you have your groove emotes ready. This is gonna be an absolute banger of a rhythm game. It's so good. I had a chat with both Big and with Jaypeg, who's on comms, and they're super hyped for this funky... Oh, hang on, what's that? Just 1 second, chat. Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry, chat. I apparently got this wrong. It's not a rhythm game. It's just a game about a funky little guy. No funk music. I'm a little disappointed. I was looking forward to some funk music tonight, but, instead we got a funky little guy doing something. I'm not entirely sure what it is. So you know what? How about we go to Big Scared, the runner of this fantastic game, BIOMUTANT Glitchless New Game Plus, to explain what this funky little game was all about. Big, take it away.
Thank you, Sel. Hi, I'm Big Scared. I'm a queer writer caster here on Twitch. I play a lot of horror content, but lately I've been breaking it down, shall you say, in this very special, very unique game. And I am joined by one of my friends. So while I get set up here for the run, Jaypeg, would you like to introduce yourself as well?
Hi, I'm Jaypeg. I'm already laughing. They warned me that I would be laughing and also that my brain would be melting. I joined this with the explicit knowledge that I have no idea what's going on in this game, so I will be reacting to this in real time. I have no idea what's about to happen.
Yeah. BIOMUTANT is kind of a kitchen sink game. It's got a little bit of everything in it. And without further ado, the time will start when we click in here on easy. So let's get that going in 3, 2, 1, let's go. I like to think of this game as the what if scenario of if you took like Death Stranding or Skyrim, right? These big world-ending consequences, but then you made it a DreamWorks game.
It's a fine way to ride.
Because
it's a place
just look at it. Our funky little guy, he's very fuzzy. I've got a helmet on him that makes him look like a duck right now. We're gonna get a face reveal about halfway through this run. And I hope you're excited and in bated anticipation of it. But first we have to talk to our friend here. His name is Out of Date.
Out of Date?
And he wasn't always named this. In a flashback sequence that we skip because we're in New Game Plus, he has a different name that says like Future Date or something. I don't know why his name is Out of Date or the fact that he doesn't have a proper name, but he's our quest giver. And he's here in the down below, beneath the whereabouts.
Out-of-date
I think
61
you
says
understand
you-
already the importance of this game. Also, this space is called the Ark. Don't worry about it. We'll get to that later. We have to find the soaked one first.
Just looking. I'm assuming
Yeah.
that, you know what, these might be literal, but I just really like that it's like the things that you have to choose from right now are a syringe, a revolver, brass knuckles, and a
Let's
lucky
see.
horseshoe.
Yeah. So those are my my active
Yeah?
menus. So the up menu is my heal restorative items menu, and yes, there is a literal syringe in there. The syringe is the voice that you hear talking to us. It's an automaton that is kind of like our Jiminy Cricket
What?
morality voice of the game. Yes, there's a morality system. Everything you do gets you dark or light points, and depending on how many you rack up in either way, he will smack talk you because he wants you to be balanced.
Can we back up? Can we back up to the talking syringe part?
Yeah. We have an automaton friend. The automaton friend is our narrator. It is the only character in the game that speaks English. And for the longest time, I thought it was the only voice actor, but I'm wrong. The creatures
is
do
called
have voice
suburbia,
actors. They just
a
don't
place
speak a
to get
language that
away
is
from the
translatable. They literally
cityscape.
speak gibberish. And on that note, there are 2 sliders in the sound menu of this game. One for narrator frequency, which indicates how often they will chime in. And the other one is narrator gibberish, which means less comprehensible words. So he'll be using things like sling, globber, fling to refer to a boomerang, right?
Don't hug your mount. It's not your friend.
And I have both of those sliders on 100% out of 100% right now. Trust me, it makes the game better. When they're turned down, it's so dry. But the whimsy of it all. The whimsy.
I don't like that he said to not hug your mount because it's not your friend, because this thing is definitively friend-shaped. And definitely is a friend-shaped face.
Look at its face. Look at its face. Look at this
Yeah,
absolute lad right here. Okay?
I would die for him.
This is my favorite mount in the game. There's like 12 different distinct mounts. This particular mount type is called a ganote. It is spelled like goat, but with an N after the G. And there are a half dozen or so varieties of ganote. They come in a wide variety of colors and shapes and sizes. This is my favorite one. There are also other types of mounts. We will soon be acquiring something called a googlide, which is a boat. Another aquatic mount that we get is the Peewee Gargantua. We will not be picking it up on this run. That's more of a 100% route thing, but it's essentially a fuzzy whale that we can ride. There is also a flying mount that is very bat-like but large. A blimp that I've never personally been able to acquire because it requires too many fetch quests and I did not have the patience for it. And then a few other sort of fun mechanical mounts. One's a horse and one is a hand. You will see the hand later on this run.
Okay, does the hand do the movement that like
You
we
could have
all do
missed
when we're
this
pretending
stage.
to have like
It's
a
called
hand animal
mammal
scramble
plot.
across the table?
It does the hand scramble. It also has a weapon. Most of the mounts do not have defensive items or any sort of offensive artillery. The hand literally has a finger gun.
Yeah.
The downside of the hand, it is the slowest mount in the game,
Let's
and
hope
thus,
the beast
once
keeps
we
listening to
acquire it for our quest objective, we will not be using it. Yeah. I have looked into ways to skip acquiring the hand altogether. It is required for a checkpoint for one of our bosses. And yes, this is just their names. I didn't make up any of these names. The game made these names up. The soaked one here is not a reference to the character that we're seeking out, Goop. Yeah, I did make him fall intentionally to demonstrate what happens there.
That
The soaked one refers to the
Subnautica
boss that we
station.
will be fighting
Goop flounders
shortly.
around in there.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
I know that you've been saying mostly words that are understandable to me, but I want you to know that absolutely none of them are sticking.
Sometimes I think
Says
that
it
this game was
Goop's
written by
Goop. He
ChatGPT.
he
I
says
cannot confirm
now
that that
he
was
thinks-
true. Here's our morality system in play. We literally have a devil and angel archetype of our fuzzy little people. And depending on which dialogue choices, who we talk to, who we ally with, which tribe we side with in the tribe war, they will get increasingly more obnoxious throughout the run. I just gotta mark this fast travel station real quick, don't mind me.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we mark our fast travel, by the way. That's a consistent thing. Another reason why I compare this to Death Stranding.
I was gonna say, like, what in the Conker's bad fur day is happening right now?
Yes, yes. This is the Conker of post-apocalyptic media.
Yes,
no. Yes, embrace it. You know what else we need? Parkour. And my favorite type of puzzle, rotation puzzles.
Just a few moves left. Make them count.
You could tell me there's like an entire Civilization style game in the middle of this that you have to play, and I'd be like, you know what? That tracks, because I have no idea what is about to happen at any time.
So I have to swap my weapon here from the weapon that I want to use from the run, which is a sword that I assembled myself out of scrap metal, to this tool weapon that is known as a clonk fist. It is very literally a rocket-powered sword. And let me show you the weapon that I like to use here.
Text.
So we've got
text.
Yeah, beautiful Joe inspired combat. We've also got a circuitry puzzle here, which is gonna be fun. There we go. There are other types of circuitry puzzles as well. Really, all of the horror game puzzle cliches are here in this game as well.
Nothing like light.
We've got our Uncharted platforming. First mini boss out of many. This one is called a Huggle because don't you want to hug them?
Sharp steel.
The baby.
He's so round. That thing is more friend-shaped than half of the enemies you have fought so far, and I find that disappointing.
Unfortunately, the vast majority of things in this game are friend-shaped. This is our first gorilla mini-boss. These enemies and their, like, group of friends are kind of just all throughout the map. You can avoid most of them, but because I need to interact with the box in this room, it's not optional.
I'm really glad that Cell has in fact seen this game, because if not, I would be worried that we would be gaslighting Cell into thinking that she were sick.
You know, there's a saying that says, I got a fever and the only cure is more cowbell. I think we're missing cowbell in this game.
Switches need to be turned
You say that now.
so enough charge can flow.
You say that now.
Needing the cowbell allegations.
You didn't hear the cowbell sound effect when I defeated that gang of enemies? Yes, there was a cowbell sound effect. Also, the item that I just picked up is very important. It is the only element of RNG on the run. I'm hoping that in that box was an engine. Because if we get an engine upgrade there, which we did, we got the best one in the game!
Yeah!
We can have an improved route to go get these gumquacks.
Question mark?
What do you think a gumquack is, Jay? I want your guess before we actually get in there and you see what it is.
I think that it's a duck stuck to a wall.
Okay, that's a really good guess. If there's anyone in chat that has ideas, I would love to hear what you think a gumquack is before we actually get into Gumquack Hollow.
Welcome to the Surf Archipelago.
Or a
where
bunch
the
of ducks that
horizon
are
rests on the
investigating
surfy
things.
blue.
Great suggestion. So, what do you think?
You're walking around
I'm just staring at the rusty Twinkie. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, our boat here, this is the Goo Glide. It looks like a rusty
This
Twinkie.
here is the Sinky Dink.
I gotta mark this real
Home
quick.
of
Don't mind me.
Bum, at the
Don't mind
very
me.
least.
Nobody pay attention. I'm busy.
Let's see.
Sinky dink.
There's a side quest where you can get into a drinking contest with this man, and you get a trophy for doing it.
He's pretty says it's both. Says
I-
you. Wonders if either
He's got a
one. Says
mustache,
sure.
and I respect
Wants to
him for,
respect. Sees
shaping
one. Says
his
he. But who
facial
cares?
fur.
Says you.
It's
Without
nice to
the
see that
drip
in
it
the
makes,
post-human,
he wants their
post-apocalypse,
eye watching,
hipsters are
says
still a
he-
thing.
I mean, I don't think that will ever die.
You know, that's fair. So the reason why the goo glide upgrade is important is you might notice that the goo here, it's not water, it's goo. Has several textures to it, and in order to pass through the green and or lumpy green textured goo, you need upgraded engines to do that.
Hey, is it called lumpy, or does it have
The
some
quack
other?
hollow.
No, it's
It's
just called
just
goo,
glue.
but it is visibly lumpier than the other
Careful
green.
of the goo.
Ah. I really appreciate that I've been warned that it has not even gotten weird yet.
No.
I think that your meters... I'm just really scared.
No, this
right
is
now.
still very benign. This is just sort of the loop of the game. There are some really ridiculous elements in here too that we'll be getting into. But I think before we talk about like things that you are guaranteed to see in the run, I think it's worth mentioning that this game has a wide variety of side quests, and some of them are
time
as
to look
simple
back.
as
Too busy
use the
moving
workout
on.
machine,
Cool.
lift weights. Here's another huggle.
Love them.
We are here in the gum quack room. For those of you who were curious what a gum quack is, it's a rubber duck.
The deep cut.
You know what? That makes a lot more sense. I accept that.
It's rubber ducks. I need 5 of them. These are going to be distraction tools for our first major boss fight.
I like the squeak sound.
Time to
The
roll
pew
out
pew
the
locker.
big gun.
Okay.
We have to
Looks
pick up
valuable.
these weapons. I cannot skip the sequence here. The game will crash. I've tried.
Cool.
I've tried. So every time I pick up a weapon, no, I have to
For
do
the
that thing.
accomplished cutter. You need to line up the switches so they match.
No. Not too many
Bristles
tries.
like the hair of one electrified. You
It's
need
okay.
to line up the switches. so
These
they
are
match.
RNG puzzles, by the way. If you fail enough times, it will give you a slightly easier puzzle.
No.
But you do have to fail enough times. The downside of them all being RNG is sometimes it gives you a puzzle that is actually unsolvable. Because it requires more turns than you can take.
Hold on tight.
So they didn't, you know, they just went, you'll figure it out eventually. Okay.
All ashore that's going ashore.
We're just gonna fast travel real fast back to Goop because it's faster. Yeah, I too love a puzzle that just requires brute force to solve.
It's like, you know what, just smack it around a while.
That's
It's
it,
percussive
Goops.
maintenance. I love
After that,
Is it
he
okay to
soon
love-
Says you should.
Listen, Goop is perfect. He's a friend, and we're gonna be taking him on the arc with us
Let's
later.
see.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Maybe you should worry about it.
I mean, I'll worry about it later. I think I've got a lot of time before I have to worry about it.
That is, you know, perhaps fair. But we're here. We're on our way to our first major boss fight of the game. They are the Eastern World Eater known as the Porky Puff. What do you think the Porky Puff is?
If
This
that,
thing spits goo
is
faster
not-
than it swallows it.
like, a pig made out of popcorn, I don't want it.
Okay. Okay, so what do you think the Porky Puff is?
I think I know what the Porky Puff is, but you know, I do like
It's
JPEG's
soft.
idea of it
That's a
being
monster nest,
a pig
if
made of
ever
popcorn.
I've seen one.
True. My chat likes to refer to the Porky Puff as baby. So perhaps
Oh,
you will
no.
agree with me that this is baby, and that fighting them is not what we want to do. I'm gonna jump over this island. Don't worry about it.
I can't believe you just skill issued an island in the middle of, like everything that you were doing, just a casual flex.
You can only do that with the level 3 engine, by the way, because it has enough momentum to do that. If you have the other two, you have to go around it.
The music getting more and more dramatic while we're approaching something that you're referring to as baby is
Porky
really
Puff
getting me.
plays! Look at the baby!
Nibbling.
The baby!
Crunchy stuff after munching down out of
Hey,
its leg.
why have I not seen stuffed animals in this?
You know, I've asked myself that many questions. And I think it's
Jaypeg,
because people don't play this game.
Jaypeg, you're gonna be asking yourself that a lot with this game.
That's fair, and I'm devastated. But at the same time, I feel like probably a lot of people picked up this game, went through the stuff Big did, and went, you know what? I don't know that this is the game for me.
That's
It's a game
actually
for everyone
interesting
it's
because
every game.
everyone I know who has actually played this game loved it.
Really?
Yeah. It is a game that is a very specific and acquired taste, but everyone who has gotten into it and spent more than like 5 hours in it loves the experience.
It's adorable.
Because it's just that weird. All right, Porky Puff is gonna do their thing. Look how cute. Look at this baby.
We had distraction tools. We gave him rubber duckies.
Not
We
yet.
should
I'm
be
about
thankful.
to. I was popping the bubbles on its elbows. Now we're about to give it
Unleash
rubber
the
duckies.
quacks. Ain't that cute?
Little buddy.
Playing with
This is specifically called a too big. That's its species name because it's too big. Yeah, I think it makes sense, right?
Understandable. Yeah. I think he's perfectly sized, actually.
Yeah, perfect snuggle buddy. I'll take 2. This is just what Maine Coons look like.
Yes. This is my son. Or my sons. I'm not.
My child.
One boy, three heads, 3 boys, 1, 3 boys.
All right, here comes the
wind of
one of the hardest parts of the game. This second phase against Porky Puff. And it's because we are removed from the aquatic battle, and it will throw boulders at us. It can stun you, and if they do, it's time loss. Also, you might think that you should just attack with your melee weapon. You cannot attack with your melee weapon. That's a trap. If you try to do that, you'll either get stuck inside the Porky Puff, or it will just smack you so hard that you lose a good 10 seconds to stun damage.
Cool.
It also does this very fun attack where you have to jump over the debris, and if you don't time it right, your rhythm will be off. So I guess, Cell, you were correct that this is a bit of a rhythm game. This whole section I'm doing off of purely, like, instinct and muscle memory.
Yeah, this is like a difficulty spike that is too much for a first, like, big fight.
This is your first big fight.
They said you are going to learn. You'll have fun, but you are going to be learning today.
The funny thing about this game is, like, World Eater 1, very hard. World Eater 2, one of the easiest fights in the game. World Eater 3, ridiculously hard, has killed so many of my runs. The 4th one, 3-minute boss, iconic, incredible, my favorite.
It's all over the board.
It really depends on what the gimmick they want you to use is. Notice how they took away my gimmick for the second phase, and that's what makes it hard.
Yeah. If you get to spam the gimmick, then it's whatever. Yeah, he's friend. He needs to brush his teeth. He really does. Rude of him to throw rocks at you.
I'm a little too far away. Stop throwing the earth at me, sir. Thank you.
He says, no, I think I'll continue to do that.
So you asked earlier about the other icons. The left icon on the D-pad, that's our first boss, by the way, refers to the radio wheel for the melee weapons, or perhaps it's the ranged weapons. They're left and right. The bottom one is the mount menu, and you can have all of your mounts on there. So you'll see I get into the melee weapon menu the most. Alright, so Goop, he knows we're building the Ark, or at least rebuilding the Ark. I'm gonna offer him a seat because he helped me. This is very important. You cannot finish the game unless you have 4 friends to join you on the Ark.
There's no reason for that whatsoever.
Well, the world is ending. And the reason why the world is ending is because those 2 bigs are eating the Tree of Life. And that's why we have to fight them. The tribe war that we're gonna break up at some point throughout this run, those are our 7 different tribes of post-human furry/scaly people. And they all have very different views on how to address the problem of the world eaters eating the Tree of Life. And you need to arbitrarily pick one. There's really only 2 options, save it or end it. And then at the end, depending on how you traverse that and how you navigate that, the final cutscene changes.
Oh.
Yeah. This game, for all of its huff and puff about choices and your morality and the difference you're making, there's really only 3 paths. There is a good path, a bad path, and then a mixed path. It's very Undertale-like in that respect. Unfortunately, we cannot choose pacifism, though.
I mean, I'm trying to think of, what this could be like, but at the same time, that kind of just sounds like morality systems. Sometimes it's like, you know what?
Wouldn't
no,
want to be
it's not
behind
actually.
that.
It's like, you think you have choice, you don't. That's not a metaphor in this game. It's just actually happening.
It's just actually happening. The thing about this game is it has really good pieces. But in many situations, it feels like the pieces are just sort of assembled in a hodgepodge way. And that's not necessarily bad, but it does make it feel like the sum of the parts could be more cohesive.
I do really like this duck mask that you have on him. This is
That's
very
a
good.
myriad.
It's the strongest helmet in the game that I found. There's probably one that's a little bit stronger, but that hat has 50 damage reduction, and then I've also added modifiers to it.
Nice.
The shirt that I'm wearing has a damage reduction of 100, plus 100% hypoxia resistance. Yes, hypoxia is a thing in this game. There's regions where if you go in there, you'll literally die from it.
It's
Cool.
Peekaboo Park.
Yeah.
That's a-
Young ones love
in this
sort of
game
place.
of cute things, that's somehow weirdly jarring.
For a beastie, this
Yeah,
man is
there are
so
radiation zones that glow
This
literal
corner of
neon
the
purple.
world is called
There are
Riptide.
biohazard zones that glow green, and then hypoxia zones are covered in tar pits, and they have visible stink lines above them. And in addition to the other climates that are literal lava that if you have enough endurance to, you can walk on top of. An ice cave that if you go in, you'll freeze
found
solid
the
without the right
whereabouts,
endurance too.
the
Those sorts of
deepest,
things.
darkest forest in
My
the land.
particular funky little guy
Sometimes hard
has
to
very
see
close to
for all the
100%
trees.
resistance in everything,
the
and that's
chug yard.
largely from my outfit. Also, we're here at the chug yard, because
Tribes
the trains go
always
here, chugga
scavenging
chugga,
for
right?
scrap, and the yard has plenty to go around. But they
I'm also
should
just gonna throw this
stop
man.
looting
Don't worry about
instead
it.
of playing around with sprockets.
I did also see a sign
Bonker,
earlier in
bonkers,
class that
busy,
unless I was
rattle,
misreading, I think the
bang,
sign
little.
just said
This is
toot,
your
and I
job.
just
Yeah.
Are we just...
You
Okay.
painted that
Yeah.
one good.
It toots because the chug yard, right? Toot toot.
You know what? I love this. And it's unfortunately starting to make sense. And I know that it'll stop at a certain point, but right now it's kind of making sense.
Yeah, the whimsy has a clear through line to it once you start to embrace it. But there are other things that there's a particular location that I'm not gonna name now. You'll know when we get there. That I struggle not to lose it every time. You might notice that I just leveled up. Max level for this game is level 99.
Slash.
I have the most skills that I can upgrade at this point, with the exception of the, like, stat upgrades from your base kit. Because, of course, this has Souls-like RPG elements, including your skill set, leveling, player class, outfits, etc., etc.
The
Okay,
world is
so-
full of secrets waiting to
Wait, let
be
me.
uncovered.
I'm clearly processing right now.
Yes.
Yes,
Is
you
this
can
technically
do
like
anything.
New Game
The
Plus
sky's the
Yes.
situation? What
Now,
is?
it's
I'm
not
on
this
my
back to
9th. I speedrun on my New Game Plus 9 file currently.
Wow, you really took that all the way down
There
to
are
the
New
end
Game
in
runs.
flames.
And for
It's
the
a
bulk
wonder
of
some of
those
these
are done
up
on
and downs
PC,
still
and
work.
there are down patch
They
runs
built
that
machines
exploit,
better than
like,
the past.
wrong warps and very intense glitches.
I need
But
to-
because I run on
oh,
console,
Gizmo
I
with-
do New
Giz-
Game
it
Plus
carries- he
and
underst- you still, he says,
I
Gizmo-
attempt glitchless.
Wait,
Sometimes
no.
glitches still happen,
I don't.
just by the nature of
Okay.
this
It's
game.
not.
That
It's
is
not
the teacup
intentional.
you
You're
should-
not
there are
going
more-
for glitches. Glitches are going for you.
Yeah, for example, my first run of
They're
this game,
short of
I
breath
accidentally
from death
wrong
to this
warped
zone.
because
Better take
it just
care.
did it.
He
I
who
didn't
half
tell it to, it
breathes,
did it anyway.
half
Awesome.
So, like, there are things about this game that are incredible, and then there are things about this game that are incredible, you know? We're in a hypoxia zone. I'm gonna try not to drown in this goo. We
I
lived.
see what you mean by stinky lines.
And this is a Mekton drop box. Similar to the Google Eye, this box will give us an RNG part. Usually it gives a hat. It gave me a duck hat to match the one I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Very cute. The Mekton is essentially the forklift loader from Alien.
Now it's just off track.
We're about to start driving it here.
I
But
love that for us.
we will be using a very special type of distraction known as a squip. We're going to have to go
He
collect
says
our
that's it.
squips
He
soon.
made- he's been working this
Don't
way.
worry about what the
Unfortunately,
squips are. We first have to talk to a wide variety of people about items like a fueler soaker and where Squip Hollow is and all of that. So really, we have so much knowledge to gain, so much to comprehend before we get our
The
distraction tool.
grease monkey's Metron is built
Okay.
sturdy, just like
Legitimate
himself.
question.
Yes.
What
Can you
made
imagine
you
how this
decide
place used
that
to
this
look
was
before
your
the
game?
dead
What,
oil
did you
flood?
play this on like a hee funny and then
Might
go,
want to
wait,
hold
actually
your
this
breath
rules?
before
Like,
you head any
That's
further.
exactly what
You're
happened.
about to witness the
I got a copy
breathtaking
of this for free through
vistas
PlayStation
of what's
Plus
known
in
as
like
the
quarter
dead
4 of
zone.
2022. I randomly booted it up one day and I was just like, this game is weird. And then I promptly uninstalled it. But then I
That
came
over
back
there
to it
is
at the
Stephen
end of
King.
last year and I was
The
like,
flip
haha,
side
what if
that
I
you
actually play this
hands on.
weird game? And of course, it was wildly off-putting to everyone that watched
This
it.
one's in-
And
says a monk
I had a
not
terrible
choosing
time the
you
first
might.
time through
It's
because
hard.
I
Claims
put the
he says
narrator
it's
on
wonders
0
what
and I was
says
just
you.
like, what
He's
is
afraid,
this?
but enough of- he says
It's
he's
so
not right.
whimsical.
Thinks, move.
But
Fortunate there's no
by
says
the
it's not.
time I was done with my playthrough, I had put 15 to 20 hours into
gosh,
it.
yeah, don't look.
Let's
Don't
see.
look.
Don't
Sorry.
look. Don't look. I'm just marking this for later. I had put 15 to 20 hours into it. And the same way that, like, Death Stranding had occupied my mind for weeks afterward, I kept thinking about this game. And how weird it is. And how, like, broken it is. And I was just like, I wonder if there's a speed run. And then I went to SRC and I saw that it was all any percent PC people that downpatch and use glitches.
Wait,
and
it's the
the
split
whole
roller.
reason why I
Place is
speedrun
just
this game is
filled
because
with
I popped into their Discord server that had been inactive for multiple years. And I was like,
A
hey,
hero
I know
has to
this game is
stand
kind of
on
dead.
its own.
What about a New Game Plus category? And they're like, if you make it, we'll build it for you. And so, so of course, I did it.
Yeah.
My first run was 4 hours long. Now we're here. My PB is just over 2.5. My average is about 245. And every time I play this, I learn something new about it.
Oh, idea. Go knock
I
the
mean,
lid off that
good on the
sludge truck.
devs because
It'll
there's
fill
a
the place
ton
up
of
and you
detail,
can
but
get
also
up to
like
that entrance there.
this feels like somebody's passion project, but I just don't know how or when this happened. Like,
Yeah.
So different from the
it's
surface
visually
down
like
here.
really pretty, and I'm like, okay, so like it's
You
recent,
need
but
to
then my
line
brain
up
is like,
the switches so they match.
when did this come out? Because I fully cannot.
2021,
Rehab?
2022 is when it came out. It came out on
Ooh.
PS4 first, like that generation of consoles. But I'm playing it on PS5. These are squips, by the way. I have to wait for 5 of them to spawn so I can catch them. These are our distraction tools.
I like them.
You know who else likes them? The Next World Eater. But for probably not the same reason you do.
No, is he gonna be hungry?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Got it.
Rip.
Good one.
But I like them. They are cute. They don't. They want nothing to do with you.
Yeah, because they know what's gonna happen. If you like, I can catch one and pet it for you real quick.
A bullet
I would
needs a hole.
appreciate that.
Okay, this is for
I
you.
think we need that to be like everybody blessed with that.
We're gonna pet and keep this creature just for you.
Thank you.
Now we have a pet.
We got a
Nothing
little
will
homie.
happen. We'll
No.
never see that squip again. But just know, we have a pet.
Yeah, we got a little homie. It's fine. He's in our hearts, and that's what matters.
Yes, truly. I'm gonna pick this up just in case.
Not gonna lie, I kind of want whatever the dev was having when they made this game.
I am horrified and mesmerized by what set of circumstances and what fever dream inspired this.
I don't know
Some
that
places
it's
a
street
Mecton
legal.
just can't
What?
go.
I don't know.
Pancakes. It was clearly pancakes.
Yeah, they were absolutely just eating a strawberry and a pancake together, and they had so much serotonin in their brain. They're like, wow, I must invent the game ever.
He says it's not his gizmo.
All right, I hope you're ready for another boss fight. This is one of the coolest
It's
ones.
time to put a
Heads
stop
up
to
for the
the best
photosensitive
be sure
viewers.
Gizmo says-
There will be some lightning effects during this fight that may trigger your sensitivities. So, once we get into this, I urge you to take care. This fight will take no more than 5 minutes once we get into it. You've
this
got some
really
time
met
before we actually get into the fight.
most of them
I encourage
lead
you to
to
take care of
disaster.
yourselves.
You heard big.
Yes, please take care of yourselves. We will be
This
sure to
is
give
more like
an
it.
announcement when it is safe to return. Also, Big, is
Also-
this the boss that likes to spoon?
No, that's the third one.
Oh,
That's the third
I'm
boss.
excited for third.
Boss number
Third
3
is
that
baby.
is very hard and stinky. That's the one that likes to spoon us.
You know, before you said stinky, I was gonna like when you were talking about likes to spoon, I was gonna be like, just like me for real. But as soon as you got to stinky, I was like,
No,
maybe not. Not just like me for real.
Yeah, no. You are much kinder than boss number 3.
Appreciated. I also, chat. I know that you
That
can't
was fun.
confirm this, but I am not
Best
physically
climbing
stinky.
today.
Jay just out here like, am I stinky, chat?
Am I beating these allegations? No one will know.
So you might wonder why I'm turning to summon my mount. It's because the way that the mount spawns, it will always show up behind you. So if you want the mount to spawn in a way where it will be between you and your objective, you have to rotate the camera to put that between you and your objective, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll be turning around and walking for up to 5 seconds trying to find your mount. Sometimes the mount will spawn on the side of a cliff, and you'll have to go down the cliff to find your mount. Or, if that happens, you could simply walk away, and you have to get a distance of about a full screen's worth of content before you can re-summon your mount. So it's very important that when you summon it in the right place.
Shot,
now, I'm
shot.
gonna Yoshi
That's one
my
just
mount
over there.
here.
Go for it.
I want everyone to put an F in chat when we jump off this cliff because it's gonna land directly in a tar pit. We'll be able to summon it again later, but it just feels bad. So put an F in chat for the baby.
Took a swan dive.
And clipping through the map like that does save
Life is a difficult
like
game,
2 to 3 minutes
no
of
matter how
time
you
in
play.
going around. You might also wonder, why is Big scooting backwards? It's because the Mekton moves faster at any angle but forward. Forward is the slowest direction.
It's a crab.
Yeah, if you can get it going directly backwards, that is the fastest because it has the longest leap and the shortest cooldown, but diagonals work. Here's the boss fight. If you're photosensitive, please excuse yourself. I love you. Please come back in 5 minutes. This is Jumbo Puff. He's very
Why
hungry.
does he have a face like a clam?
I don't know, but the face is the worst part.
Ain't no fuzz. Run into it before it ends our
I feel like
world.
I'm looking at a teddy bear that someone put a gooey duck clam on.
Yeah, it kind of has like long Furby energy to me, where the face is very cursed, but the body is fine and big.
I was gonna say the face is giving me Silent Hill energy.
Yes.
Yeah. Or like, literally just this morning, like my morning scrolling information in bedtime was spent looking up pictures of the pale woman from Guillermo del Toro's version of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, like the movie that was released in 2019.
I gotta use the squips here. I'm sorry. Otherwise, it will suck us into its body. I also want to give a warning for Vor. The third phase of this, we will be getting eaten.
Hello?
Yes. We will be being eaten.
You know, I was gonna make a joke about 15 minutes ago that this is actually secretly a horror game, but I guess it is.
It just is.
You know, it's not a joke. It's a rhythm game. It's a horror game. It's all the games.
This is a kitchen sink game. It has everything in it.
It has everything in it, including the food that's stuck in the drain that you gotta reach down with your fingers and pull out and you can't see, and it's awful.
But plot twist, you're the food.
So valid.
That is actually the crisis of this game. So we haven't really talked about the plot, right? I mentioned that there is a crisis with the end of the world, there's a tribe war. There's also a subplot involving your tragic backstory as a protagonist, involving an enemy we'll be fighting soon named Lupa Lupin, who is quite literally a carnivorous gorilla that killed and ate your mother. Your job is to decide how you want to deal with that. That's Jumbo Puff, by the way.
What a super
Hey,
sized worm
did
wing.
we just
That
run
must
from
be
the
as big
stomach
as
to
they
the
come.
heart
Yes.
in one single path?
Yep, and it took 3 arrows to the heart directly to deal with it.
Cool. This is how physiology works.
And
Is it safe for people to return now?
it is safe. If you are listening and photosensitive, you may come back from your journeys away from the screen. Thank you for taking care of yourselves. We do have
He's
to
helped
invite
out. He
Gizmo
just-
here to
Gizmo
join
is-
us on
he
the
knows
Ark
you-
because
it's
we
not
need
the-
4 friends.
What we have, if you
I will usually invite a 5th person to join just in case
been
because
think Gizmo will
plot twist,
always-
even if you invite them, depending on how you navigate the tribe war, they can decide not to come with you.
Cool. Helpful. Also, I can't believe that this game also gave you 2 little narcs that are constantly bothering you for your choices at all times.
Where is my mount? Why did you teleport there? You know, I'm asking too many questions. The game
He also
exists.
had to
The
pee.
world is
He
so
also
low
had to
down
pee.
here.
Leave him alone.
He had to use the fast travel system. You're so right. You're so right. Now, folks might be wondering, do I have to talk to Out of Date?
Out of
Yes.
Date's Lupin,
If you go
even
directly
though
to the
you'll
quest
point
givers for the
Lupin
World Ender
Out of Date,
missions,
hope he knows it.
you will be sequence breaking too much, and the arc stuff won't trigger properly. And by the end of the
should
game,
get these
you'll have to do
wishes.
like a bajillion other side quests to get old Out of Date here to do anything. You literally have to interact with Out of Date a certain number of times before he will prompt you to find the last World Eater. And you cannot get to Wiz Tinker Tonker unless Out of Date tells you where he is. Yes, that's his name.
happy for him. It's the thud. It's the dull, wet thud of the earth that really just I feel seen and like identify with that sound. Oh no, I love it. Also, he's back. I mean, we got him back and then immediately did him bodily harm, but
Listen, I didn't Yoshi. So my option's going down that cliff, okay? There's two options for that. I can Yoshi him and throw him violently to the ground, or I can ride him and hope he doesn't trip. We got unlucky there, he tripped. There are specific lines you can take as you're sort of parkouring down that ridge where it won't fall, but those are tricky lines to nail, and once you're sort of in the air, the Ganote goes where it wants to go. I'm gonna cut through this biohazard zone. We're gonna get a very large pop-up here.
It's really
it's in the way. I was doing some blind platforming there behind the quest marker, but the goal here is essentially to stay left on this lake, because if you take the other side of the lake, which is technically a shorter route, a boss will summon in front of you, and the cutscene of it activating is 30 seconds to a minute of time loss.
cool. Cool beans. Cool and normal.
I'm gonna Skyrim up this hill you're not supposed to be able to climb. Beautiful.
It doesn't even look not climbable. It just looks normal.
You might be wondering why I'm running the wrong direction. It's because I'm trying to get a spawn point out here. I want a specific fast travel station that I can use later for the third set of quests.
An old munch house. Imagine having hot food brought to you.
We will be teleporting back to Out of Date to go fight this person named Loopalupin.
A munch house. That one immediately I get. It makes sense. I accept this. So you're telling me that this beats out Splatoon for most bizarre post-apocalyptic but cute game?
I think that's gonna be a subjective argument, but this is a very close contender, yeah.
I mean, having played through the campaigns of all three, I think the closest unhinged moment is in 2, and they have chilled a little bit. It's not like this. I don't know. This feels more feral to me in a way.
This is absolutely a fever dream.
Yeah.
Okay, where is my checkpoint? I'm looking for the little yellow flags in the distance.
I really like the noises that your Ganote is making randomly. He's just screaming. He's just...
Oh, it does that every time you leave the ground.
yelling.
If you get any amount of verticality, the goat just be screaming. Also, these are other Ganotes. Look at them. They're beautiful.
Nothing beats the darkness.
How
There's
is that the
Rifferoof
same as
outpost,
this?
Which
You
the
know?
Lotus tribe slapped together long ago.
I don't question it.
I'd too be
Let's
screaming if you lift me from the ground without me wanting to be. So I understand. I relate to this.
That's so fair. All right, I mentioned we're going to fast travel back to fight Loopalupin. Loopalupin is the character that killed and ate our Moomaw. So, this is part of our morality story. We have to confront our past. Now, you might be wondering what kind of fight this is. It is a hassle, because not only do we have to fight Loopalupin here, he will be our final boss. This particular altercation with him has 3 rounds of combat. The final altercation with him has 6 rounds of combat.
You.
Yes. And all of them are stinky.
That's too many. I do love the color story in this game. Again, but you have a type of game, and it's things might be unhinged, but visually it is a delight for your eyeballs. Like,
Yeah. I like pretty games that make no sense.
Tread
And this sure
carefully
is a
here.
contender for that
this
title.
Is Looper Lupin's camp.
Here's Lupa Lupin. This is an unskippable cutscene where he's going to prepare his ganote for later eating. I'm sorry to all the furries in chat.
Hey, why was this ganote just like
He says
phasing
your
in and out
mother
of
and he knew.
existence?
Because that's what the fur
Ema
textures
is
look
hung,
like when
but
they're not
he's
wearing
a deep
clothes.
fate is
Okay, sure.
I'm just gonna fight him real quick. Now, if you have any questions about the combat, let me know.
I don't know how to have questions about the combat. Other than, is it hard?
Yes. Yes. So for melee combat, you have to have a particular set of skills that refill your ki, that give you combos. So I'm actually mashing combos like a fighting game right now. And if you're using a ranged weapon, you have to do double the inputs to do maximum damage. So you'll notice that I'm using a mixture of magic, melee, and the ranged combat. I'm gonna try to lightning bolt him. Boom. Don't you do that. I'm gonna lightning bolt you again.
I appreciate him just kind of standing there for a minute. That was really nice, actually.
This boss is surprisingly easy to stun and parry, unless he grabs you, in which case, good luck getting out of that. You are also very easy to stun and parry. So, we're gonna go talk to Out of Date again. Then he's gonna send us off in the direction that I already trekked out to. And this is gonna save us, hopefully, a little bit of time.
I like that Out of Date straight up looks like an old Dr. Seuss Who.
Yes.
Like, with the way that his face, like facial hair, is just drooping.
Could
He
be
also
danger
kind of
around
reminds me of,
any
like,
corner down here.
the missing member of the Muppets band.
Out of date. He says he out of date. He says he'll.
Like, he seems like he would
Out
be
of
right
date.
at
Yeah,
place, right in place with the Jim Henson Muppets.
Yeah. Like, a
Out
lot
of
of them, it's
date
like, oh,
suggests
this is an
I
otter, this is a
understand.
beaver. What is out of date?
So when Out of Date is younger, in the flashback sequences, he is a beaver that looks like Elvis.
Out of all the things you could have told me he was animal-wise, that was not the one I would have
He's a
picked.
beaver that looks like Elvis when he's young. I don't know how he turned into Legless Kung Fu Man, but he
Let's
does.
see.
See, to me, Out of Date just looks like a creature that's gonna sit there and sing "I Am the Walrus" on repeat.
He is very walrusy. He's very walrusy.
Listen, I am he, and you are we, and we are me, and we are all together, okay?
Choo.
All right, let's go see Nako. Nako is the note groomer, because we need to go see her specifically to fight the Western World Eater known as the Hoof Puff. Cast your bets on what Hoof Puff looks like.
Puff is a good name, though. Although, to me, it just means, like, inflated, like, fuzzier horse. I don't think that's correct, but that's where I'm going with that.
You know?
Out of date, it's just Garamond the First Hunter.
Accurate. Accurate. Let's ignore those mastodonks.
Mastodonks. Incredible.
I see the chatter saying, I hate that this game's starting to make sense. Welcome to my world. I have successfully brainwashed myself into liking this game. I've brained myself into liking this game, and so can you.
Snarfler. Oh,
Yeah.
that's what it sounds like when you have food poisoning.
The wind cuts right through you in the mountains.
There's an enemy in here called a Frizzle-Lurf. And every time I see Frizzle-Lurf pop up, I'm like, wow, mood, that's me. At 3 a.m. in front of the fridge. Sometimes I feel like this is like an iteration of Simlish, and that's why it makes sense.
Simlish does have a pattern to it. Like,
This region is no.
This is the Canupstonies, by the way. The hardest
the
place. You'll
Gnoke
never find a harder place
Nocco
around.
never leaves this place.
Cool.
She's
Makes
always
sense, makes
put
sense.
the living things first. Let's see.
I also want to point out that all of the mounts are called living things, and you can purchase them from living thing brokers.
Nooks.
That-
Knocker.
you know.
That's a choice.
Seems Knocker.
You know, in a
she
land
says
where
Knocker
everything is
says,
non-humans,
then
the ethics of ownership become a little bit blurry.
Yeah, we're getting into like a
asks how
goofy
you
Pluto
can't. So,
situation
like,
here, and I don't know
let's
how I
not
feel
cheat
about it.
The Majut, you should. It's the most.
I also want to point out, if you love our friend here, our goofy little buddy, the Ganote, we will be receiving an alternate design. It is scripted. I like to call this one as Darth Chinian. There are people in my chat that are like, the Azure Chin. Brace yourselves. This is a spectacle of a beast, and it's perfect. I have no notes for this thing.
We give him bath.
Maybe not.
He rock.
We give them
You
scritches.
found
Lots of
the
scritches.
Majut,
Here he is.
Neko. Watch out
Look
for
at
the
him.
Majut.
Oh! That is a lot of chin.
So
That is
we will be
entirely too
forced to
much
ride
chin.
that in a little bit.
Hunker down.
That boy does not eat, he scoops. This is just Randall from Monsters Inc. I'm experiencing situations. Thank you. I'm scared.
I also promised
Now that
you
the
the
Majut-
cool
she says the
mechanical
Majut, she says that
mounts.
it's easy.
We are about to go get a bonbon gummy for our Majut because they want something to chew on. Yes, it's gum. Then
Okay.
we will be getting a Mecha Majut, which is a very cool robot horse that we'll be using for less than 5 minutes of the run. And then we're gonna go get the Mecha Fingro, which is the big mechanical hand. And we will also proceed to never use that again.
Cool.
So this section has really cool mounts. There's also some goofy platforming up here in this skyscraper section. I hope you are excited about more
Crossway.
slacklining
This means
and grab
you have
handles.
a choice to make. Which way?
Things that my camp counselor said to me.
The only thing missing is the friendship bracelet.
If you told me this game had friendship bracelets as a collectible, I would be like, yeah, okay. Like,
There are no friendship bracelets, but you can find and play vinyl records. And they are essentially Simlish songs in the gibberish language of like
aw.
Fallout era classical music. It's very fun.
Cranks like these usually need to be wound to operate the dispenser.
So here's our bonbon gummy for our
What you
Majut.
see is what you get. You
I love
shouldn't
that
be
it gave you the
surprised if
completed, like,
stumble
wow,
on
you
more
nailed
of
this
these.
puzzle.
It's an electro
Yeah, I
panel,
sure did.
I
a
sure
closed
did.
loop that pushes voltage spark. Flick the switches in order to greenlight the current and activate the electrons.
My favorite thing
Same.
about turning the narrator up to 100 is often his voice lines will overlap, and it becomes completely incomprehensible. And
With its
that's how I
she's
want my
really
video
the
game.
only- If she, it's a
I just,
That is-
I don't need to know what's actually being said. I just want the vibe.
Too much chin. That was too much chin. That is altogether, like, how did he?
These
Did he
are
keep it
other
up? How
Ganotes.
is it? How is he not just breathing through his mouth at all times because his mouth keeps falling open? Like, is
Listen.
he okay? Someone get him a zip tie. Like,
We've
give
got
his
slack
jaw muscles
lining,
a break.
and we've also got a slack jaw friend. The universe
That's
is
a lot of
complete.
no need to
That's
refuel.
true. I'm happy for him as long as he's happy. I don't know if he is, but I hope he is.
If he's not, I know a good plastic surgeon.
Yeah.
You
We want
finally
to
found
affirm
village
the
of
experience of the big
Bumbledorf.
chin, not endure, you know? As long as they feel good, I feel good.
And this feels like that really small one single forest spot in Akala in Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, and now it's gone.
So, I know I mentioned this game is kind of like Death Stranding. A lot of people who watch me play this compare it to open world Zelda, just because of the gliding and the climbing and the sheer world traversal and the way the enemies spawn in and the sort of mundanity of the tasks. I feel like it's an appropriate comparison.
Mm-hmm. The music in this is very cinematic, though. Like,
I'm gonna Yoshi it again. Get ready.
do it. Get ready with your Fs.
Goodbye!
For my boy!
I'm gonna try to land directly in this
The
hole.
Smilo
My handsome
Shopperia.
son.
Guess
Nailed it!
Shopping here, put
Yeah.
a smile on your face.
No, I got chased!
This a few and
Rude.
far
Stay
between.
busy. I need to touch
However,
this box
that's
before
no
you
great
interact
loss.
with me.
Talking pictures from the aforetimes lacked a message.
Oh, I got spotted. We gotta fight this dude.
Rude of him. He just kind of let you sit there and hit him for a minute, though. So.
They'll do that. They'll also run away
Nice.
from you, so that way you have to chase them.
Crackle, crackle, pop.
Crackle, crackle, pop.
Chop it.
Yeah, I love that cereal, too.
You need to line up the switches so they match.
A weird mash of Fortnite and Forza Horizon.
It is. It is.
Good.
And I think that's
enough.
actually a compliment because both of those
Yeah.
UIs are really accessible. Like, didn't Forza win awards for it?
I think it did.
A
but
mountain is
It
the
does sort of
opposite.
evoke
Now,
a dissonance,
hold on.
right?
Sit tight.
Of like,
Isn't
what
that
is
the
this
mechanism
game?
over there? You need
The
to
answer
use
is
the
yes.
bolts Without rattling
Is
the
this
mechanism.
rotation puzzle on his neck? Is
That's
that
the
way it's
sit
moving?
tight is loose.
Yeah.
Time to
It,
stop
it was
forcing on.
the thing holding the sit tight on. Also, I'm gonna hop onto and immediately off of that horse. We're gonna go fast travel.
Chat, Cell did just ask an important question, but I want you to answer in Biomutant gibberish.
Yeah.
So, if it's
Now that the knockers,
grape
she's
nuts,
called, you'll find
we
they're
need
small.
it to be like roundy rockies because it's round and it's hard as rocks.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like that's
If
that's
it's
what we need.
cornflakes, it's gotta be starch whippets or something, you know? Here's our mecha horse. This is the fastest mount in the game, but its handling is garbaggio. So if an enemy so much as farts at you, you will fall over.
And these enemies would fart. I would expect this game to have that.
There are attacks that very much look like farts where they throw little green balls at you. Oh, we almost got hit with one right there.
Oh. I also didn't read this as MIP Tunkleduns. I read that as MVP Tunkleduns, and I was like, good for you, Tunkleduns.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
This
happy
place
for
is
you.
called
Yeah,
Brightlight.
there is an
We
enemy
have
called
different
MVP
spots.
Tunkleduns. There is one. It's a
So,
bigger
okay.
version
The
of
work
that.
figures that you found. Hopes you, no matter
Good.
what wonders.
This
he
is
figures
Mito.
are So happy,
I like
whatever
this guy.
says
He
you
sells
claims
lamps.
says he can pursue
And
this,
fun fact,
he
if you are
sent
taking the
believes
evil path in
Mito, he
this,
reckon- finding
your
blows-
interactions with him essentially boil down to I'm gonna unalive you and take your skull. Me,
Oh.
the little guy, threatening that guy with the sharp pointy teeth. I'm gonna take their skull.
In defense of your character, it does look like the Lantern Merchant's skull would glow, so...
You know, that's so valid. Luckily, we don't need the merchant's skull. All we need is glitter moths.
Beautiful.
Glitter moths are our next
glitter.
distraction item for the next boss.
Doesn't riding a beast like
Glitter
this
moth
feel good?
just sounds like a Monster Hunter Rise or Monster Hunter World, like the drop that you grab as you're on your way to something. It's like the little bug cluster in the corner. That's what glitter moth sounds like.
Out here, I'm like Skyrim, the blue moth wings, the glitter moth wings, right?
Yeah, that's true. Horse. Let us thank you.
You know, I get impatient with that horse trying to jump. It's
Me
built
too.
to go
I find-
forward and nothing else.
And the
I just want to acknowledge the fact that chat actually did take you up on that,
Yes.
JPEG.
Yes.
What
do
are
you
so
some of the
beautiful.
winners?
Juicy Jumbles.
Mm-hmm.
Wrinkly Dry Purplin with Crunchy Crisps.
Thank you, Dobby.
and Swirly Squares.
10 out of 10 would try all of those,
I agree.
especially swirly squares.
I'm trying to come up with one for like Fruity Pebbles because like it's gotta be like Color Flakes or like something like that where like some
Oh, that one's gonna be called something like Frubble Bubble Chucks.
thank you.
Now, we don't actually have to
Little
fight this
cave is
flat
right here.
boss. We can literally just run past it and collect our glitter
You
moths.
always find good use for things like
Incredible.
Sad part is, because the glitter moths move, they're kind of hard to catch.
To do this.
Come back here. Where are you going?
Rainbow Frubble Flakes.
Come back here.
Yes, and Frubble Flakes also come in like mud frubbles.
Mud frubbles. Oh, so good.
All right, we have everything we
that.
need.
That's enough. She won't.
Now, I want you to put an 07 in chat for all of our very
The
cool
hoof
mounts.
puffing
We're gonna
she
be
needs,
here
so
riding
it remind-
the Majut. The Azure Chin.
Yeah!
The reason why we have to use this mount is because this mount has the special ability to use a grappling hook while it's in motion. And so we will be using the grappling hook to put the hoof puff into a prone position that is necessary for combat. Also, that's Mip Gug. Mip Gug is a jerk. Mip Gug, if he smacks you too many times, will force your ride to completely despawn.
Cool.
Give it a little
He's
pat.
just
Go
like,
on.
you don't need this anymore? Mm-hmm. What the? I need this narrator to stop being hot and cold because we got told not to hug earlier. Pat, okay, now. I am heated. Furious right now. Why did he hate the original one? That one was friendlier. This bulldozer, like,
A brick
bulldog
rat like
thing.
that is
I'm
like
not
a
in
gift to
on it.
unwrap.
This one has such a, like, I am envious of the color of this one's fur. I am, like, eyeing it for, like, my VTube model's next hairdo. It is an inspiration. But original friendo, best friendo.
Original
Are
friendo,
you-
best friendo. But there is a better friend in the game. I showed Cell a picture of this. It's a ride that I do not have because you have to ally with a specific faction and then purchase it from their living thing dealer. But it's essentially a very thin, very floofy version of Toothless the Dragon, but without wings.
Aw.
And they call it something like a Skrek. It's unhinged how cute this thing is.
You know,
right.
I'm really proud of this guy for looking like he does, but I did like looking at the other blank face before.
This is the Hoof Puff. It's the hardest boss in the game.
Oh,
Oof,
why
Puff,
does
my
he have to
beloved.
be so cute?
Because he's baby!
This is
Baby!
so
And he
baby.
cuddles us. He cuddles us. He spoons us.
I love him. This is unfair to me personally that this thing needs to be fought and is hard.
Now, you might be asking yourself, what makes Hoof Puff hard? It is the fact that Hoof Puff has 3 phases compared to the first 2 bosses, which only have 2. You also have to use the ranged weapon on mounted combat, which means you're not allowed to use any of your combos. You simply have to shoot precisely, which is very hard to do with ranged weapons because most of them have really short range. Additionally, Hoof Puff gets stronger and has different abilities in each phase of the fight. So,
Cool beans.
in phase 2, Hoof Puff will have a ranged weapon. In phase 3, Hoof Puff will have a very upset stummy. And I hope you understand what I mean when I say that. And if you don't, you'll see. Let me just,
Gondor,
I need this.
Yeah. Gondor, we're adopting this. This is. I know we were talking about getting a 3rd cat earlier. This is the cat. This is.
Don't worry about the upset stomach. I'm sure you can figure out a fix to that.
Oh, don't worry. I've been through that with plenty of cat before.
With a
It's fine.
special diet, I believe the Hoof Puff will make a productive and welcome member to your family.
Yeah.
You might need to get it some soft food because when I'm done with it, it will have no teeth.
Oh, no TVs?
No
That's
teethies.
okay.
That's okay. They're
okay.
bad. They gotta go for its own health.
You're just giving it free dental care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the dental work it needs.
No, this is a baby. Those are his baby teeth. You're
Yes.
Oh, yes, yes.
Now, never mind this. I have to do this because we need it in the prone position.
It's fine. He's sleeping.
He's just having a little rest.
He ready to snuggle.
Yeah. He wasn't having the running dream though.
He's about to.
Is he gonna have the running dream? Come on, do zoomies. Come on, buddy. Yeah, let's have the running dream.
Oh, baby.
Yo, good boy. I'm not gonna lie, this game has done a lot of things that are kind of upsetting, and yet the most upsetting one to me is the visceral pop on the elbows every time.
Yeah.
And
it's like a comedy pop too.
Yeah, it's followed by a squelch and
yeah.
I do love the fact that as you're pulling these teeth out, and of course you're skidding along the ground after you pull the teeth out, there's no animation for your mount getting back up. It's literally just snapping.
Yeah. Well, here's phase 2. I mentioned it has a ranged weapon. That's because it's suddenly a peacock.
I love him.
Now, this is why Hoof Puff is hard. Because you have to be close enough to use your distraction without getting got.
That's uncool.
And I just died. But that's okay. This is normal for Hoof Puff. It checkpoints between each phase of the fight.
Okay, I was gonna ask.
But because we do have distance, this is gonna be tough. I'm just gonna shoot as many glitter moths as I can and hope for the best. Perfect.
Nice. Oh, he's getting him! He's getting him! He's swatting at them!
Yeah, he's just a big baby.
This is a baby. This is just a little guy.
He's a too big, playing with glitter moths. And yes, that is what the game refers to these things as, too bigs. Because really, that's the only issue with them. They're too big, and now they're just eating the wrong stuff.
I didn't understand. I didn't think that by just getting too big, you would revert to baby by having that happen, but I'm happy for him. Oh, he inhaled his own, like, bubble pus. Oh.
Oh, poor baby.
Remember when I said he had an upset stomach? It's only gonna get worse.
That's why.
It's only gonna get worse.
He yelling. He yelling. He yelling.
If there are folks in chat who are averse to, the kinds of things that happen when you have a really upset stomach, phase 3 is probably a good time for you to look away and or mute the stream.
I would agree with that. I came to from a fever-induced nap while watching the stream on Sunday to phase 3, and I was not mentally prepared for that. So yes.
Pimple popper only gets grosser.
Dr. Pimple Popper!
This weird episode of Dr. Pimple Popper. I don't remember this.
You know, what would Dr. Pimple Popper say about these puffs?
I mean, you're using gloves and you're not like wiping like a tissue over it and stuff like that. Like you're using, you're not reusing the tool, so there's got to be some like cleanliness in that. You're not like transferring everything. He's unruly, and you know I think that's okay.
I'm stuck inside the Hoof Puff. This is why Hoof Puff is hard, because you're on horseback. The camera will sometimes just get stuck inside the boss, and particularly doing phase 3, that makes it very dangerous. Because there will be parts of the floor that are not good to walk on. Here's the part where the stummy hurdy is important to remember, because that will melt you.
Cool. I love this like peacock scorpion situation. though. This is really fun.
Yeah, this is an incredible design for a creature.
You made him lay in it. That's not nice.
It doesn't hurt him, though. He's fine.
Yeah, but now he's gonna need big bath time.
You know what? I trust him to handle that himself. He's a big boy.
You know, yeah, like, cats do clean themselves, so he'll figure it out.
Not on the other side of the arena! Bro, I just cleaned those floors.
Get out the steamer. Get out the 5-in-1 mop, steamer, iron, Roomba.
Gotta get the pet fresh out. The landlord's not gonna be happy about this.
Listen, bud, I've been there. Just know that, like, you're always gonna see carrots in there, even if you didn't have carrots, and that's fine.
He's mad because he's got a mamble clump on his feet. Everyone, check your shoes.
Is that what we call these?
No,
things
Mamble
that you're
Clump is
talking-
literally a village in the game that you can visit.
Got it.
I just like to joke that it's something you step in.
It does sound like that. Sickies everywhere. Yeah, but we could have gotten you like a bag or something. Like, do you want when you go to bed tonight, honey? Do you want the trash can next to like the bed? Like, I can leave it there for you. It's okay. Poor little guy. We'll get you some Pedialyte, and you'll be okay. You'll be okay tomorrow.
Tell me why, though, when Hoofpuff puts its butt in the air, I just want to give it scritches at the top of its tail.
Oh yeah, like it's because it's doing the cat thing.
It's like, please, pet me, I'm a good baby.
It's baby. It needs all the scritches and pets.
Alright, Hoofpuff is almost done. Folks, you can come back. The stummy hurdy's over. Unfortunately, we are about to go into a leg of the game that I find very tedious. We have to instigate our tribe war now. And this is because the different groups of post-humans here have wildly different views on how to approach the world literally ending around them. And at this point in the story, Out of Date acknowledges that ignoring it further isn't helping. Because even if they leave on the Ark together, people will still be here after we go. And because we are on a moral quest, we must also deal with this. Now, I'm going to head over here into the Dead Zone, which is where we were earlier for the Jumblepuff fight. And I'm specifically going to ally with the Ankati tribe because it will give me the same ranged weapon I already have equipped. The reason why I do this is because the more items you acquire, the game will just sort of change your kit out. So as this tribe war progresses, we'll be forced to wear a different set of armor for a chunk of it. We'll have to use the weapons they provide for us. And much like this mount, we are going to have our choices bound for a few sections of the game. There are 6 distinct side quests related to this tribe war. All of them involve taking over a enemy fort in one way or another. Some can be done via persuasion. Some have to be done via combat. Some are more of like puzzle tasks where you have to do sabotage missions. None of them are particularly inspiring to me, and this is where the most memeable, repetitive dialogue of the game is. Also, I just want to be clear, sometimes the game crashes when I touch this door.
Fortress.
Let's do it.
Slow. Says they're wet. Hopes you have.
So let's see. We're good. We're gonna meet the Sifu. He's gonna tell us what this tribe wants.
Yeah, that makes...
That sounds like a perfect
The
plan.
Ankati tribe believe that solidarity is what is needed to keep the world in balance. They're steadfast in their conviction to unite the tribes and move forward together as one.
Comrade Ankati.
So this is the Merc Puff. They are a very cool turtle. We're gonna be fighting them later. Very cool turtle.
The Sifu
I like
says
him.
he now understands.
But
that
I'm gonna ally
beside
with the
the
Ankati
Sifu
tribe.
the crew
There are 2 reasons why. I already
He
said
wants
one.
you to
The second
focus.
reason why is
These
because
are the
they
new
are
rival outposts
a
your
like
tribe needs
light
to take
allied
control of.
tribe, which means that they're going to give me good points, which makes persuasion easier. The morality system impacts the persuasion skill. You can either persuade
He says
via
you'll regret not
kindness,
being on
or you
their
can
side.
persuade via intimidation.
The only way you'll
but the
learn their
intimidation
secrets, Wong Fu and the
persuasion
tribe weapon now,
strats
is
often
if
come
you
at the
defeat
cost
him.
of literally
And
giving
that
up
will
10
never
points in
happen.
a skill you have.
You both
So
have
you will
tools
lose
you-
10
once
physical
you-
strength, or 10 charisma, or 10 luck every time you pick one of those options. And doing that 6 times in a run is a huge debuff to your character. So you want to try to persuade without losing anything.
I've been told as we progress into the tribe war, take a shot of water every time you see the word Sifu.
Yeah, your Sifu will thank you so many times. Drink water every time you see the word Sifu. You'll be so hydrated that you'll be ready for our little
Pick
break
up
while
the
we take.
pace race.
Cool.
Now, the Majut here, because it's a speed-oriented creature, cannot handle the slightest rock in front of it. So if you're wondering why I keep getting stuck,
Me too.
it's because it has no vert.
No uppies.
No uppies.
It's the heavy
Old
chin.
brick-brats like that.
Yeah, it's
Sometimes
very-
Chin adds too
still
much
full
weight.
of good things.
You know, all the uppies went to the chin.
All the up went to holding that thing up.
You know, I respect him for getting chin implants. It's not like the most trendy thing, but like it's okay. It's what made him happy, and we affirm him for that.
You know, I'm just glad Robbie Rotten is still working.
You're Robbie. Oh, Rip King. I almost told you to shut up in the middle of your own
You'd be right.
Oh god. This is Robbie. His name is Robbie now to me. This is Robbie. You could tell me that Lazy Town is the type of like civilization that was here before the
good
apocalypse
sign.
happened, and I would
Small's
be like,
mark
yeah,
is a
that tracks.
favorite
I'm good with
thingamajig
this.
for a
You know, that's my new head canon. This is just what happens to Lazy Town after the goo goes into the goo, you know? So you might be wondering, what sort of cataclysmic event led to the world being like this? Let me tell you, there is a whole story about a company from the way back before times called Toxinol. And if you happen to interact with the right objects on the map, the narrator will describe the very prolonged, detailed, whimsical story of how Toxinol was a biochemical company that made all sorts of helpful
You've
things in the way
discovered
back before
Phanaki
times that the
leaves,
people
the
used.
densest jungle in the
But
land.
because
Better get
the
hacking.
government had no regulations, they were just kind of dumping their waste into the goo, which made it goo. And as a consequence, everything became the way it is. The people died off.
get too
These
attached to
things
the
mutated into
vegetation
what
out
they
here.
are.
It's
The
someone.
climate became unstable and weird. Much of the world was completely left to detritus because it's completely inhospitable. And it's essentially a very long-winded and very heavy-handed story about climate change.
I think I would argue that exists already in the form of Wall-E, so we have another thing to compare this game to.
Yeah.
Well, that was rude.
Yeah, Snuddle here is kind of a hater. If we get hit enough times, the mount will despawn there. We're at our first tribe outpost that we're going to take over. But because
found the Moly
this is
hole.
not a combat-oriented
An old
one, I'm going to
ancient
walk
tribe
around
hole
the
in the
door to
wall.
avoid the cutscene, and we're going to walk right to the sabotage mission.
Let's do it.
Now, you might be wondering, how are we going to sabotage this station? This particular one, we're going to put goo in their pipes. I know, the pipes are already meant to make the goo go, but we're going to put the wrong goo in their pipes.
Says they've just keep the
At another
scouts,
station,
says that.
we are simply going to punch a bunch of beehives.
You know what? Let's punch beehives. I love this idea. I love this idea. This is safe. There's no way it could go wrong. I am seeing so many other games in this game. Every single time you enter a new room, I'm just like, hey, this is like the sewers from Luigi's Mansion 3. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't let this game stand on its own, but I just feel like I'm seeing a little bit of everything.
It's
I love
because
that about it.
the whimsy of this game is very evocative of
Absolutely
everything. Except for the kitchen sink. I have not found a single kitchen sink in this game.
Disappointing.
I have found toilets though. So I mentioned earlier that there's a bunch of mundane like side questing you can do. Some of it involves weightlifting. There's a set of missions where you simply walk on a treadmill. There is another set of submissions where your job is to unclog toilets, and inside the toilets is armor.
Oh!
And the final toilet you unclog gives you a legendary weapon that is very literally a toilet bowl brush.
Good thing you're not
That feels like a Borderlands joke, specifically.
scared of tight places.
There's another legendary weapon that is a very comedically oversized toothbrush. And in order to acquire that weapon, you have to complete a side quest where you literally use the toothbrush to scrub a man out of a pile of oil.
You know, I'm happy for him. He's getting good scrubbies.
Slash the slash.
I do like his pink uniform. It's a pity that you're having to fight them.
It's a very good uniform. I'm gonna be swapping to it once they force me to wear the tribe uniform that this tribe that I joined actually wears. This, the Pichu tribe here that are wearing the trans rights, pink, blue, and white, they have the most powerful armor set in the game, but it cannot be upgraded on its own. So, like, as far as default stats, it's great. I also want to point out the fact that he's laying on the puzzle.
Got it. Nothing but greasy
I was just gonna
pipes
say.
now.
I really want you to go back into the puzzle now.
Outpost belong.
Is that gonna break the puzzle?
No, it's fine.
Someone please clip that. That's incredible.
He says you made them weaker.
But they won't
give
give up. Your
Your
Sifu
tribe-
thanks you.
Your
Your tribe
tribe
is
is
growing
growing
stronger. And that's gonna be the cycle of this sequence. Our Sifu's gonna give us some stuff. We already have this. And yeah, trans rights in chat. We
Says
will
you
be
figures
acquiring and wearing the trans rights uniform, so I hope you look forward to that.
Good. It's the correct uniform to wear.
Well, it's not the strongest one, but it is the most fashionable.
Yeah. I'm just...
Why are you snapping to the outside of this? You know, I am asking too many questions of this game.
This really is a game of all time.
It might be the game ever. Where is my Majut?
The plants are so thick you can barely move.
There you are.
Robbie.
I have to listen for it because it makes a sound when it summons. And if it doesn't make the sound, you're standing in a location that it cannot be summoned to. Either you're too close to a cliffside or a water or something like that. That man literally dropped out of the sky.
I'm happy for him. You know, sometimes you just gotta fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
It's like that. You know, in my head, even though we were calling the uniforms the trans rights uniforms and everything like that, when you're running in here and causing problems, it does feel like you are in fact breaking up a gender reveal
The
party.
underfoot outpost.
As we should.
Like
Those
where
are
the
highly
Pichu
destructive.
tribe dug- There's
Yes.
the tyrant. He
Now
didn't
here's a
expect
persuasion.
needs a
I'm
logical
gonna click
reason.
smart choice. We have just over
Strong-arming won't
50-50.
work.
We're gonna have to fight the Pijami. Look at this baby!
Their last
I
line
would
of
die
defense.
for him.
Once they're
Oh, look
guarding
at the little like run around he does. Oh, you're
So
good.
cozy.
This is time loss. You can persuade this guy to just not fight you at all. But then we would be missing the Pijami.
Hey, Big, why are you not wearing the pajamas on your model right
the
now?
outpost.
Listen, I didn't think that far ahead, but that's a beautiful suggestion, and I'm gonna make it.
Yeah! You can blame
He
me when
says
it...
you made them weaker,
If it's hard to
but they
make, you can
won't
blame
give
me,
up.
and,
Your
I'm
Sifu
sorry,
Your
thanks
Sifu
you.
Thanks you. Your
Your tribe
tribe
is
is
growing
growing
stronger.
Stronger.
All right, we're getting the armor set that is not good. So at this point, I'm gonna pop into the menu. I'm going to change my armor. I'm also going to put us back on a good mount.
He says you did a believe.
So when I say I'm gonna wear it with pride, that is actually a lie because I'm gonna pop over here to the outfit menu and I'm gonna put on the trans rights outfit. I'm
Yeah.
also going to come over here to transport and repick our friend.
Yeah! Sorry, Robbie, you were cool and all, but,
Was he or was he just useful? That is the question.
Is he a 10, or is he just a reasonable, like, tool to use in your speed run?
Yeah, is he a 10 or is he a 7 that's convenient? Because I don't give Robbie a 10. I give him like a 7, but I'm required to use him.
Yeah, no. Original
Bestie's back!
This is a 10.
10 out of
This is
10.
a straight 10. Like, just unquestionable. Like, this is like a 10 on a national level. Like, this is a babe.
This is internationally renowned most beautiful creature of the year. If you missed the vote, I'm sorry. You missed the vote, but this cannot be argued with.
It's that goat honk that really just brings it home. just honking and squawking. Like, the fact that you did 3 like enormous bosses and then the game's like, all right, what if we had you go into this incredibly long
series of fetch quests? Yeah. Also, this is the Mirage. This is a series of side quests on how you upgrade your automaton. What it happens is when you interact with the Mirage, he throws you back in time to your childhood and you have to beat the crap out of a childhood bully that did you wrong. And then it unlocks some trauma memories about your Muma, who has been obviously eaten by our big bad. And then it gives you an upgrade. I do not have all the upgrades because I could not sit through all of those sequences.
Says it's freedom.
They're very emotionally draining.
Here's the first line of defense.
That I get it.
So I've only got 4 out of 5 of the automaton ones. There is a 5th automaton boost. I don't know what it does, but currently my automaton does things like fully heal me once per fight. It has a cannon. That's what those green sort of bullets flying around are. That's my automaton doing damage for me. It'll do some sort of like taking the aggro. So if I'm in a hard place, it'll shoot enough shots at the enemy to distract it. And then it also does like a debuff thing.
No more bullets from that.
Don't mind me. I just gotta destroy these pew pew boom huts. Then I can go in this hole like a true horror game.
Yeah.
I've said it
you
before.
You can kind of see the bottom. You
can
can kind of see the bottom of the hole though, so it's not like a real horror game situation where it's like you cannot see it.
True, but much like all survival horror protagonists, I see hole, I go into hole.
Yeah, we jump in hole. This is what we do.
Keep going.
Alright. Now, I need to do another phase of guard duty. They're gonna try to throw tar on me.
Stay away till you take
but if I shoot arrows at the tar, the whole thing explodes, right? Because that's how that works. Yeah. And then I'm going to fight 6 enemies in 2 waves of 3. And then we're gonna take this rocket and shoot it through that door. How dare you block me successfully? You know what? I'm just gonna yeet you over there. Alright, that's wave 1. Wave 2's gonna drop right in front of me. Beautiful. They never saw me coming.
Hell yeah.
Because I spawned they spawned in front of me.
So they didn't have time, because you were already there.
I was already there. Attack of opportunity, baby. Who's left?
Just jump on that candle and get it lit. Ride
me
that
at birthdays.
sprocket.
Ride that sprocket.
Sure.
It's not a sprocket, but okay.
Almost there. The out.
All right, now we can challenge the leader of this particular tribe. Now, you might be wondering, why does the Ankati tribe beef with the Pichu tribe? That's because the Ankari tribe believes in
Your
solidarity.
tribe
They
is
want all the
growing
tribes to
stronger.
work together to stop the end of the world. The Pichu tribe says,
Think you did it.
actually,
They all-
the world kind of sucks, and we're just gonna let it fall. We're just gonna let it fall. They don't want to help. And so we start with them to send a message to the other tribes. It is not our choice which ones we are allowed to fight. In the tribe war, you are required to fight 2 of the tribes, and then from there you have the option of whether you want to continue the fight manually or just
The
solve the
leaves
rest in a
here never
cutscene.
die.
We're going to be solving the rest in a cutscene because I do not want to subject you to like 3 hours of your Sifu thanks you. Your tribe is getting stronger. Your Sifu like that. It's too much. So that's why this is any percent route.
Yeah.
Like a hundo route.
Yeah, that would be. I don't know that that's the
Monster
move,
napping
you
here
know.
at any time
Yeah,
of
no.
day.
As it stands, there is no formal 100% route for this game because the scope of what even means 100% is so broad and so vast that the idea of wrapping your head around that is a bit much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
A
pit stop
brick-rat
here
that's still
to grab
standing.
a fast travel
Now,
point for
that's a
later.
find.
This guy Gulp, I mentioned way like an hour ago
This
in the
is
run that there is a whale mount
Residence
called
of
the Peewee Gargantua. You get it by completing this character's side quests.
Got it.
Let's see.
And Gil is a lovely person. All he wants you to do is find fresh water for his fish. And so you have to like escort him across the map to several locations where there might be fresh water for his fish.
That there is a fume foundry where
If you
toxinol
succeed,
processed go juice.
which is pretty easy to do, it's a short walk, but there's some tedious combat in there. He will point you to the location of some bandits that are holding the Peewee Gargantua hostage. They literally have it on like a fishing line, and you can save it. And as a thank you, it lets you ride it.
Aw. That's nice, I think.
It is mostly nice. I question what the Peewee Gargantua eats.
But you don't need to feed the mounts in this game, so it's fine.
No, you don't. And at several points in the game, the narrator's like, "You're lucky this runs on grass." But we never stop to feed it.
Bring on the night.
Also, it's nighttime. Can you tell?
Bring on the night. I think Lady Gaga made a song about that, but I'm not 100%. Tab. Just tab, huh? Everything else has gotten like multi-syllabic, like long names. Just tab.
This is another Ganote. It's got horns. Now, the other tribe definitely does not know we're coming, even though we have whatever's going on here.
Normal.
Just normal things that you do on the cliffside
Let's
outside
see.
of your rival's fortress. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But I'm going to talk to my
They've
Sifu
been
real
late.
quick.
You
He's
better-
not going to
they've
question why I
managed figures-
changed out of the uniform so quickly, which is surprisingly convenient. But we do have to go get an item known as a bang ball now.
I mean,
What do you think a bang ball is, Jay?
is that a bomb? Is that just like a cartoonish bomb?
I mean...
Or is it the thing that goes inside of a cannon?
I guess the answer is yes. But the more precise answer is I'm pretty sure the boom ball is just a bag of gunpowder.
You know?
Because
That-
we're acquiring it by digging through this pile of gunpowder.
Oh, okay. Sure, I guess we're done.
And at this
Right,
point,
yes.
we can teleport right back to our Sifu, and he will send us on one more fetch quest. It did not count that, even though I picked it up? Biomutant, are you okay? Y'all saw me pick up that item, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, can
Just
confirm.
Just Biomutant things. It's fine. This happens a lot on this
This place can
particular
be
objective,
dangerous.
where it's like you dug it up, but buddy, are you okay?
Oh. Yeah! Beautiful.
I'm actually so glad we got to go back and see that.
You just turned around. He's just big chillin'. He's fine.
He's vibing. Hello, Boom Powder. Are you okay? Thank you.
Apparently the game just thinks this run needs more balls.
All right,
We're not
return to the
balling
Sifu.
enough.
Yeah, we need more bang balls to fight the Merc Puff with.
We could never be ballin'.
It's time to... You need to...
All right. So, we're here in the actual fortress. I'm going to use telekinesis to just throw all these dudes off this cliff.
Give you
because it's significantly faster than trying to fight them.
How long have you had that ability?
3 or 4 runs.
Cool.
This is an ability that requires you to do the dark path and get at least 30 points in dark skills. Points are required by doing side quests and gaining psi points, PSI, for your psychic abilities, which are separate from your Wung Fu, which are also separate from your mutations. Are you keeping track? Do you have it memorized?
Excuse me, Wung Fu?
Yes, your Wung Fu.
This is annoying.
Wung Fu was invented by your Muma, and that's why you must have... Ah! That's why you must avenge her being killed! I got smacked by the Mega Puff! It's fine. It still cleared the way. Now I'm gonna use telekinesis again to yeet these guys off the other side of the cliff. Because it's still faster than fighting them. Why did you land on the bridge? I thought you went through the bridge.
You good?
He's
you
not
good?
He's not good. You go over there. Anyone left? You?
They're being big rude right now.
This is a very rude encounter because why did you land there? Sir? I need you to...
You're feeling mighty low.
You're feeling mighty low. No,
Yeah,
I'm feeling pretty great.
My key is low.
The day is dawning.
Alright, we did it.
The wild.
I hope you like
But you just
QTEs
need
and
to aim
mashing.
straight, shoot and pull,
Because
and the
that's
game comes.
what it's like to do
Pishu
that.
tribes, he didn't expect. There's no way he'll surrender to.
There's
he
no risk there
recognized
because I've
anybody
already
at
taken
the
out all of
rivals
his
you are,
stations.
He'll leave it up to
I'm gonna let
fixes,
him
and
join
with
us because that's our
side
goal.
by- He wants you
At
to
this
focus.
point,
These
I think
are
it's
the
a good
new
time for us to
rival
take our little
outposts your
bio
tribe needs to
break.
take control of.
Look at you!
So once we
Hey.
pause here, I'm gonna hit the pause menu once I'm able, and we can pause the timer there and take our little break. But
Cool.
first, our Sifu needs to thank us.
He says you'll regret not
Of
being
course,
on their
very
side.
important.
The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him.
And that will never happen.
Your Sifu is, but he's,
That's
you
what's
can't,
about to
he says
happen.
you know the fate.
All right, I'm pausing it. So, on that
Yeah.
note, everybody please get a little break in. We'll be back soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
We shall be back, chat. Do not change the channel. Do not miss the rest of this, whatever this run is. We'll be back in a little bit. Alright, everyone, welcome back. Big continue to take away with this wild, incredible game.
Yeah, let's continue the second half of our tribe war in 3, 2, 1, let's go! So what you're gonna notice I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna find open air because you can only fast travel from areas with open air. So I'm gonna parkour out of this area that you're not supposed to be able to do, and then I'm gonna teleport from the top of the hill. Otherwise I would have had to walk all the way back to the entrance of that particular fort, and that's like 2 minutes. So parkouring up that wall is actually really important. But because we have a new rival, we have to start beef with the Myriad tribe. Now, the Myriad tribe, if this is your first playthrough, will be the group that the narrator will send you to. They are a good-oriented tribe, but they are much more authoritarian in their approach, They believe in wiping out the other tribes that disagree with them.
fun.
And their particular enemy is the Jogni tribe,
Dump
which are some
outpost
really
shined
angry
up by
dudes
the
that look
myriad
like
tribe.
skunks. None of this is particularly important because we're just gonna go in here and we're gonna beat up the Myriad tribe at every chance we can. But
There's the sovereign
here is
who runs
their
this
outfit.
outpost.
It's very cool.
He didn't expect
It is not
Sure
particularly
if you're
useful.
likeable enough.
He's
Says he
probably gonna
just-
cave here.
The outpost.
Nice.
That was it?
That was it. Because
He
persuasion,
says you
once
made
you've
them
already
weaker,
aligned with
but
the
they
light
won't
path,
give
works
up.
really well on
Your
light-oriented
Sifu
tribes.
thanks you. Your tribe is growing
So the whole
stronger.
reason I've been going good guy is to make this second half of the tribe war
He
faster.
says you did a great. Says you.
Yeah, we
I'm
are
assuming
at the
evil is
Domp
just-
outpost, by the way.
The Domp.
Domp.
Thank you, chat. The big juicy Domp outpost. Are the people that live there juicy Dompers?
You know, I would like to think so, but you just saw what they look like, so I cannot.
Yeah.
I don't want to lie to you.
You'll get better with practice.
Let's put a marker on this one, otherwise I'm gonna get confused because they're kind of the same distance away from each other.
On your own again.
I'm not on my own. I have my bestie.
Yeah. Just a guy.
Just a funky little guy.
This is a quarrel spot. So many
Another
wars have been
Pijami?
fought over this patch
I'm
of
stuck on a
dirt.
wood.
What a waste.
Don't worry about it. Now we're gonna go over there. The cool thing about Myriad Tribe is that they have all the beautiful beachfront property and the fortresses that stand out like sore thumbs. So you
Cool.
can see them from a very far distance, which is not true of some of the other tribes. There's a tribe in the northern area, the desert, which we will never see in this run because it's a completely different biome on the opposite side of the map. They have some pretty cool fortresses that are like built
The
into
Mitomop
the geometry
says
of the
they've just
level,
says
and you have to go into
figures
cave
look-
systems to find them. I mentioned earlier I'm going to be punching some moths. This is it. I'm very sorry to all of the moth lovers in chat. This is scripted. There's no way around it.
Aren't you the moth
That's
lover?
the
You're
moth
literally
nest.
wearing a Mothman shirt.
I wanted to be inclusive of other moth lovers. Thank you.
Just get to it and destroy it.
Just get to it, destroy it. We're working on it. God.
Yeah, the narrator's so pushy. And fun fact, if you try to use any other weapon besides the Clawing Fist in this section, the way that the angling of your melee weapon works, like slashes don't hit those moth nests. You have to punch it. Which is why this particular weapon is called a tool in the menu. It's not called a weapon, it's called a tool. But you have to equip it with the melee weapon menu.
Sure.
You know?
I get it.
Nice.
That's it.
work.
I accept it.
No more moth's nest.
No more moth's nest.
There go the
Oh
moth.
no, the moths, they're in my
outpost belongs-
face! And that's Meyer Mop. We've got one more outpost before we can
says you
challenge
made
the
them
Myriad
weaker,
Tribe
but they
Sifu.
won't give
Everyone
up.
take your sip of water,
Your
because your
Sifu
Sifu thanks you.
Your
tribe is getting
growing
stronger.
He says you did a... Says you...
What if this narrator is lying to you and they aren't saying that you're doing a good job and they're just absolutely smack talking you?
You know, I would not be surprised at all.
Will the dawn
I'm
never
also
come?
going to go to the other side of all of these foxholes because much like the side of a cliff, if you summon your mount too close to the foxhole, it will go in the foxhole, and getting your Gano out of that just ain't the business. Please summon.
Chad, you know when you gotta, when your Ganote gets stuck in a foxhole and you have to wait. Happened to me last week. Held up traffic.
I know.
Really embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing.
Hello, readers, on that note.
Yeah, if you're joining us just now or after the break, this is Biomutant. It is the game ever. It sure exists, and so can you in this universe. For the low cost of a few brain cells. That dude's name is Bravo.
Round of applause for Bravo, thank you.
The Vespidat
That was
says
that
it's
was
time
right there.
freedom.
Alright, so once again, I'm just gonna yeet some dudes. This time I'm gonna yeet them into this little moat, and I'm gonna hope that they don't land on the small platforms down there. And I'm gonna, you know, acknowledge the fact that they can't swim.
That... Is he just looking at his friends?
That's a bomb lobber.
Bud?
So these dudes in the orange are my friends. The dudes in the pink colors are the enemies. And I know that's confusing because I'm wearing the pink and blue outfit.
Give those twirly wheels
I
a
promise
turn.
you, I'm not on the pink and blue team. I'm on the orange team.
He just kind of looked at them.
Yes, the
Like,
rip.
wow. Anyway.
Keep going.
Actually, no, I did this.
I'm like, in a weird way, stunned into silence and interest with these mechanics. Like,
That cage
this is wild.
Ooh, that was really good. It's very rare that those two enemies line up in the same place. Usually one of them
Says
will
they've
run
been
to the
grateful.
opposite side of the arena and shoot arrows at you in a very annoying way. While the other one keeps falling off of the geometry and you gotta chase it. So the fact that I kind of bullied them both into a corner and was able to take them both out at the same time is very cool.
A
Unfortunately,
sharpshooter.
more
The
combat.
scaffolding looks
This one
unstable.
will
Better
involve
stay clear of the red
kiting
ray.
an enemy into
Here.
poles, but first I have to fight these little dudes. And the next enemy that enters the arena, I want both of your opinions. Is it intimidating, or is it just cute? Okay?
Red means danger.
Sounds good to me.
Alright, intimidating or cute? Let me know.
Like him. He kind of did ooh fingers for a second.
Yeah, he kind of cute.
Better big bump.
You know what he reminds me of? Big Cat from Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except I don't have a flonky
Switch
to
off the
give
light.
him.
Maybe that's why he's upset.
A barrel.
True.
Smack it to get the
Oh, cracked it
We
open.
cracked
You're
the
in.
code.
Almost there. That looks splody. Shoot it and the He says you made them weak.
All right, chat, take a
but they
sip
won't give
because
up.
your seafood thanks you.
Your Sifu thanks you.
Your tribe is growing stronger.
Thinks they all hope.
Now, I mentioned before the break that there is a particular location in this game that usually makes me giggle. We are going to be sent on those side quests soon.
Listen to all that night noise.
Are you my mount? I thought you were just one of the... Oh, you know, it's fine. These particular animals are the native notes in this area, so sometimes it's hard to know which one belongs to you. But that's okay.
I just love his face too much.
It's so good. I took one look at it and I was like, gender?
It's
Yes.
honestly gender.
Yes.
Very, very gender.
It has the same energy to me as the, like, large humanity enemy from the Dark Souls games. Right? Like, it's a void, it's got visible eyes and a mouth, but aside from that, it's just shaped like a friend.
It's like, do you need a nose?
Nah.
Do you need any sort of protrusions, whiskers, or ears?
Nah. The embodiment of Angie Smiley Face.
That's the Myriad fort.
Oh, the music got real dramatic.
Because I ran past a mini boss. It's okay. We'll be back to deal with them. We just have to go check in with Sifu first before we get the Sling Globber Fling. Yes, that's what it's called.
Let's see.
Pretty lanterns. I'm
They've
digging
been
this.
You better. The plan. It's better.
There's a lot to like about this, even though it's just doing so much that it's kind of an assault on your senses.
Yeah. See, these are the reasons why the combat music was the way it was. Those little dudes were chasing us from way over here.
Uncool of them, but understandable.
You know, it's their job.
You too.
Now, I'm hoping that they will take these bees and let me dig. Can I do my job? Yes! Oh!
Yeah!
Yes! Now I can just leave. I don't have to actually fight them. You only have to fight.
Your Ganoa was already on.
It's like, bye! But
I can leave.
I grabbed the fast travel point, so I can... Oh, I'm in combat still? Come on. It's fine, I'll just walk.
Yeah, the music of this game is like really like
It's
dramatic
time.
and
It's
cinematic.
time to.
Like,
You need to.
I respect it, and I'm fascinated by it. Leveling up again. Oh, that was a lot of perp.
I dropped a lightning bolt on them.
That's the color of lightning, yeah, sure.
In this game, absolutely. Am I stuck?
Ew, what are those?
What are those? These are my Crocs.
Oh, I love that version. We're all
That's
that
a
grandma
fire
emotionally
starter.
sometimes.
You just need to create
These
a
are
spark
my
to light a fire.
Crocs.
The dry grass looks like it would ignite easily. It burns brighter than the light.
Oh, I'm stun locked. No.
That hurt 'em.
Okay, so the pattern that these enemies are doing are what they usually do. Where 2 or 3 will group up and then one will run to the opposite side and just sort of pot shot you, which breaks your combo. It's very silly. And the part that sucks about this particular wave is that your objective is up there. It's that thing. It's called a pyro sizzler, which is essentially a fireworks stand. You want to use that to light a fire further down the line. But even if you can get up there without them bothering you, which you can very easily, and they cannot follow you up there, you cannot interact with this while you're in combat, and there's no
That's
way
a
to not
pyro
be in
sizzler
combat
right
while you're
there.
up here while those dudes are still alive.
Nice crackle. Just get to work on it. Make it frizzle. The
Make it
wire
frizzle?
looks like
Make it
it's-
frizzle, Miss
If you
Frizzle.
just
Where
need
is
to aim
she?
straight, Shoot and pull, and the gate will come down. The myriad. He was
All right, we're
hoping
gonna
it would.
try
He
to
sees
persuade
strength in
him.
You like no, he reckon.
And it works.
The rival you are.
All right.
He'll leave
At
it
this
up to
point,
you.
we have to be
Thinks
very
it's
careful with our
with
menuing because if we
side
pick the
by
wrong
side. He's got the
option,
news
we
that
will
the way
continue the
it's
tribe war
clear.
for
The
5
tribes
more
are
rounds.
so. Do you want to
All right, cool. We're good. This is an unskippable cutscene. I hope you enjoy what solidarity looks like.
I love this.
Yeah. This is what allyship and solidarity looks like. Even the
Yeah.
militant militias that believe in genocide will chip in if you simply shake their hand. And we all practice Wung Fu together? This is the future
love this.
that everyone wants.
This is Kung Fu Panda.
Do you see?
Sorry, Wung Fu Panda.
Wung Fu? Wung Fu Squirrel.
Wung Fu Squirrel.
Akati tribe wins.
Yeah. Just a little guy with a face.
Alright, so I have to escape this place. There's no way to climb out the back, so we have to go out the front. And at this point, we're in open air, and we should be able to teleport right back to Out of Date. At which point, Out of Date will be like, alright, the world's ending. You should go fight the last one. Go meet my friend Wiz. Except he doesn't sound nearly as cool as that.
And the narrator makes him sound
Such
less
a
cool.
dark night.
Is it?
Such a dark night.
What? It's night?
Yeah?
I refuse to believe that it's nighttime, honestly.
Sure.
Sure.
I guess, bud.
If you say
Narrator,
so.
are you okay? Are you okay, narrator?
Go home, narrator. You've had
No.
too many sips of water.
Out of date. The last thoughts, regardless. Out of date. You're the future only. Out of date. He says he'll. Out of date. He explains.
The
Cool,
cool
thanks.
thing about doing the tribe war the way we did is that because we
Out-of-date
sided
speaks
with the
says
Ankati
that-
tribe, we've already explored the area that the Pichu tribe traditionally holds, which is right where Wiz is. So the second we get out this door, we'll have a fast travel point already established for us.
The Tinker Tonker.
Yeah.
Okay.
His name is Wiz Tinker Tonker. What do you think he does for a living?
Is he a mechanic?
Let's see.
He absolutely is.
I was gonna say he's the
I'm getting it.
waypoint maker, but
You
mechanic
know?
works too.
He is a waypoint maker.
This is a game. You're playing a video game.
I am. I'm gaming right now.
This is peak game.
Have you ever gamed like this before? I'm sure your answer is going to be no. Or perhaps it will be yes, and in many ways, because this game is kind of both of those things. I mentioned radioactive zones. There's one right there.
Cool. Good to know.
If you go in there, you will have a upsetty stomach. So there are moments when you as the player will be suffering in that same way that our bestie the Hoofpuff was suffering.
Don't like that.
Yeah. And we got really lucky in that when we were traveling through like the hypoxia zone, we did not get forced
Sure
into a
is
brief
dark.
cutscene where we had an upset stomach. That often happens.
Will you straight have an uppy tummy?
Yes. But because I'm wearing the duck helmet, it will not be visible. It will all be retained inside the helmet, which I think is worse. I think it's worse, actually.
Oh, that's that. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all
Oh,
in
no.
the beak. It's all in the bill. It's all in the bill. The bill is a bag for it.
Yes, yes. It's a complex bagging system for the upset
Yes.
stomach.
It's giving bad, like off-brand, plague doctor.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
This is the bio doctor. We're gonna capture this fast travel point. Don't mind me real quick. I need to do this. I need to mark my territory.
Keep your eye out for Wiz while you're here. Let's see.
And it's
think-
so
I think
appropriate
we
that he
found-
says, keep your eye out for Wiz right here. You know?
It's like, yeah, I think I found it actually.
I found it. It's right there. But Wiz is this delightful little man. I adore Wiz. Perfect design.
Wiz
Look at him.
Says Wiz, but Wiz,
Oh!
he's set up Wiz. He
Look at
know-
him. He's
my
perfect.
He know. Ultimately,
Incredible.
He is not my favorite NPC in the game, though.
Ask
My
if you
favorite
would
NPC
maybe
in the
that
game is a
amazed,
character named
impressed.
Saul.
Says you're
They're at the
meeting, but
northernmost
that's
port in the
Wiz. This
game,
is what he
in
can't-
an
it's
airport
definite.
in the middle of the desert, in the middle of a tar field that is incredibly hard to get to. But if you get to him, he will pop up out of a briefcase and ask you for books.
Good.
It is perfect. He's perfect. I love him. No notes.
We're getting the hand, y'all. I recognize that word.
Yeah, it's time for the Mecha Fingro. I will demonstrate the finger gun before we leave the Mecha Fingro behind, just because I have talked it up and I think y'all deserve it. but we do have to go to Mecha Stadium to get our Mecha Fingro.
Things are happening. It's not just
Things
anyone
are
that's awake
happening!
and moving.
You sure are.
Things are
They
happening.
sure are. That is the way I would describe this
An
game, is that
old
things are
home.
happening.
Could be something
Imagine
to it.
things happening in a video game. I feel spoiled right now, honestly. Now at
Look
this
for
point,
Mecha Stadium.
I think it's a good time to ask you both, since we've been on this journey together.
Yeah.
What kind of game do you think this is? If you had to put it in a genre, which one would you put it in?
Is it a cop-out to say action-adventure? Because I feel like that's what it gets labeled as.
I feel like that is one of the labels that is applied to it broadly, yeah.
Open
I'm
world
struggling.
action
Don't want to
RPG,
point
if
a finger,
that's a
but the
thing that
Mecha
exists.
Stadium is near here.
Well, let me tell you the tags that I found this game under. In addition to
Oh, do.
open world RPG, in addition to action adventure, this game is labeled as a Souls-like. It is labeled as a puzzle platformer, and it is labeled as a first-person shooter. I
No.
would like to ask you if there's anything first-person about this.
Is the first person in the room with us right now?
This is the first person right here. I do think first person and shooting in the same game is not perhaps what is meant. By the way, this is the Mecha Fingro.
You need to loosen
I
I
the
love
button
it.
without unsettling it.
Oh. You know, I'm still gonna hold to my
As
opening
long
and,
as
say that this
karma
really
exists,
is
the
actually
world
a
changes,
rhythm
we
game.
change with it.
A
Yeah!
horror rhythm game. Hey, finger guns.
The fawns.
It Baja blasts you.
It does. I love that.
I see your request to do a specific visual gag later on. You got it, gamer. I am happy to oblige chat for that request. You'll know what that means when we get there,
He
though.
agrees. He
I'm not
says
gonna
the-
spoil
he
it.
knows he's stressed. Whiz her.
I like this bug who has joined the cutscene while you were doing that.
That's our automaton. That's what it is.
He's vibing.
It's a literal cricket, but it's a
Happy for
robot.
him. Well, he's bombing the shot. Like, I don't know that he's supposed to be there, but I respect him for it.
I don't know why, but looking down when you do the dropping on the ganote makes it land a little better. Oh, sorry, got a Yoshi there.
That's okay. That's okay. Little homie will be back. He always is.
Yeah, little homie's just gonna pop up right here.
Yeah.
See? It's fine. He's waiting for us all
Yeah.
along.
He never left. Post-human Lynchian word salad horror. Yeah, that's good. That's a good tag. I'm sure there's a tag for that. Oh, okay. That was. I could not tell what I was looking at for a second, and I thought that was something with like a very, very long back of head instead of just like the side of a large thing's body.
So if I had gotten too close to that mirage, we would have been trapped in a past sequence. We got very lucky that when that thing spawned there, we didn't get sucked into it.
I'll accept that.
Pocus Timbo, no!
Actually, may I suggest another genre for this game?
Yeah, of course.
Indie. This is just the definition of indie.
As in, all of the devs were
Good
doing
ride
something
long.
independently of each
Tell
other
it,
and didn't
no
talk about
biting.
it.
That is, unfortunately, the popular discourse around how this game was made. Allegedly, each of the very talented dev teams were given a task and very little coordination. So if this game seems a little bit disharmonious or has organizational problems or isn't quite gelling right, there's your explanation. Potentially. Allegedly.
Understood.
Also, look at this Ganote. It had a very long face.
It did. It was sad.
Now, we are on our way to get a object that we will never use. It's called a grease sprinkler. From an NPC named Choo Choo, who lives in a place called End of the Line. What do you think End of the Line is?
It's
You've
not
reached the end of the line.
where the train
Bet you can
tracks
find
end.
Choo-choo here.
It is where
it
the
a
train tracks
cemetery?
end. It is.
Okay. You know? Okay. The logic is starting to hit,
Let's
and
see.
I'm scared about that.
It is also the titular soundtrack to Tron Legacy, but unfortunately that song does not play for us here.
Choo-choo wonders.
Look at
says
Choo-choo,
you've seen
the
it,
absolute
whichever
lad.
wants to know if it thinks everything
I'm
seems
glad
like can't
that
but likes
Scrimbleshanks,
suppose,
the
but
railway cat,
says
has been
as you
working.
He's been figures. He's this time. Wingnut says
You're gonna remind me about cats like 2 hours before I have to go to bed. Now, what am I supposed to do? I'm going to be thinking about Mumbo Jerry and Rumple Teaser.
Listen, Mungo Jerry and Rumple Teaser belong here because we are going to the location that breaks me every time. I'm going to say this to you and then I'm going to try my best to hold a straight face. You are invited to laugh if it makes you laugh. We're going to get a wingnut from the Wingnut Chug Tunnel.
Yeah. Wingnut Chug Tunnel.
We have to go
chugging
to go.
chugging wingnuts sounds very dangerous to the health.
Yeah, we have to go to the Wingnut Chug Tunnel to fix the broken wingnut. So that way Choo Choo can restore the line or something. I don't know. I've never followed Choo Choo's story all the way to the end. I do know that if you help him enough, you get a different series of like upgrades for your Mecha Fingro, which make it slightly faster and slightly more robust. It also gets a double shot attack. None of those things are particularly worthwhile in my opinion, but they are cool. So there's your merit if you're looking for it.
Why is Chug Tunnel Hype such a funny sentence?
Chug Tunnel Hype!
Chug Tunnel Hype!
Chat, I do encourage you to hydrate upon us entering the chug tunnel.
Yes, chug your water when we get to the Chug Tunnel.
Consider it part 2 of the Sifu thanks you.
Now, we're here. It's the Chug Tunnel. It's exactly what you thought it was.
Chug
It's a train
Goes
track
on forever.
that goes through the mountain. All we need to do is open up that door from the other side. So we don't have to fight anybody. We simply have to find the right path, which means going up the stairs and around to open the door from the other side.
Or in your case, just going around the stairs as well. It's like there were stairs involved. You didn't interact with them. That's
Yeah, you just gotta
stairs
bounce.
were suggested.
I don't know why there's like turrets in here, but sure.
Can I just say, I adore the animation of your little funky dude just like pushing doors open.
The
It's
animations
so
are very
dramatic
good.
and so grand and gives like major Megamind vibes.
Yes.
And honestly, Megamind vibes is what a lot of media
Just a
should
few moves
aspire
left.
to
Make them count.
if, like, anything is to be believed about that, like, famous Tumblr post that's like, I just want a movie where, and then they go on to describe a situation that just
Megamind.
happens in Megamind. Yeah!
Megamind.
Your destiny waits on the
Are you saying I should just watch
Megamind.
Megamind? Yes.
Like, just watch Megamind. Actually, it's the only movie you need.
So now that we've opened up the Wingnut Chug Tunnel, we have to go talk to Choo Choo. He's gonna give us his grease sprinkler, which we will take back to Wiz Tinker Tonker in exchange for the submersible
Choo-choo,
that I'm
beep,
brain
beep,
farting on what it's
beep.
actually
on the
called.
choo-choo. It's of says there's
I commend both you and the narrator for being able to get through these.
choo-choo says he
You know,
sees
I have over 50 hours in this game, and I still am not 100% there. I feel like when I get to like hundreds of hours in this game, I will have transcended language, and I'll be able to interpret what they're saying.
Figures. Choo-choo needs no the world.
But like without the
wonders.
narrator.
So,
Does,
what we have
does anyone else smell toast? Oh, I've been smelling burnt toast.
After
Since
spent
we
choo-choo
started
said,
this
"Didn't
game."
have-" Let's see.
Yeah. This is...
Oh,
we're
that-
getting deep fried.
If you think I'm melting my brain now, we haven't even really touched all of the stuff about the way back before time and all the stuff in Suburbia, which is an actual location in this game. All the stuff that's in Mambleclump, the various crafting
This he
mechanics,
knows.
the
He
fact that
says
you
it-
can build
there's
your
a-
entire
you should
kit from the
keep an
base
eye on
up.
him. He's a
The way you upgrade yourself, the fact that we have to go to the Bang Factory now. Like, there's so much.
The Bang Factory?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like the name of a club in that SNL bit, where it's like this club has everything.
Is the Bang Factory where they make the bang balls?
No, it's where they make pyro sticks. We need to get an unbanged pyro stick.
Oh, of course, an unbanged pyro stick.
Yeah, we have to find 3 unbanged pyro sticks. And we will use them as our explosive devices for the boss combat against the Merc Puff. We're also going to have to get a distraction item soon from Gil, who is the lovely guy with the fish. He has to show us where Guppo Grotto is, and
Don't
Guppos
let the day pass you
are the
by.
bane of my existence. If you thought the glitter moths were hard to catch, the Guppos
That's
are
a
worse.
bang plant where toxinol used to make all sorts of splody
I
things
have
before
new
it
song
blew up in
lyrics
their
for you
faces.
that just floated into my head.
Yeah, hit me with them.
Let's have some fun. This beat is sick. We need to find an unbanged pyro stick.
Yes! Ma. Just because.
Oh man. You're welcome.
I love this.
Yeah.
If we're lucky, the tin can Tuffo in the parking lot will ignore us. If we're not
That
lucky, he'll
looks
come
like
in
an
here.
unbanged pyro stick on the loose. Better catch it before it goes off.
Come here. 1, 2.
These don't feel unbanged.
Yeah, no, they're pretty banged. But
Yeah.
that's besides the point. They're still flying, and yes, they did have wings. I cannot explain why they have wings, but they do.
Fine.
It doesn't matter. Wiz is gonna send us to Guppy Grotto. We're gonna have to deal with Guppos.
The
That's
pirate,
fine.
he hoped Wiz
They're
has
not
seems
even
that
cute.
This me.
I mean, in this game, when so many things are, that's really like sticking out like a sore thumb.
I know. I'm sure someone in chat's gonna be like, "What are you talking about? This is the cutest thing I've ever seen."
I mean, that's the people who say
figures
that
it-
are the
it
people
must have-
who
it's
like
quite
barreled
idle.
in Animal
Thinks
Crossing,
seems
and I
to-
Not
wouldn't be
barreled
like,
Animal
"Why?"
Crossing.
But
He's right
never
here.
even
You
look,
can't
he
talk
figures-
about him
figures
in
his
front of
friend
his
could
son
hear.
like
If you said it
this.
figures he's-
They haven't seen Hoof Puff. That's the problem. They just haven't seen Hoof Puff.
That's true. Hoof Puff is the premium baby. Alright, we've got to go to Guppy Grotto.
Oh my god.
The sun is high.
The narrator's descriptions of times of day is...
Speculative at best.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Unfortunately, the narrator announcing what time of the day it is actually very important depending on which class you start as. There is a particular category that is the mage build. I don't ethically agree with its name, so I'm not going to state it on stream. It has language that is ableist as a descriptor for it. And so it's not worth repeating. But if you choose that class and you upgrade your skills in a particular way, you will get a feat that basically gives you an intelligence score boost during the daytime and during the daytime only. So it's important to know when your day and night cycles are, so that way your key pool can be used appropriately. But that's mostly if you're using that class.
This is Guppy Grotto.
Oh my god. Those are guppies, right? Those little wiggly things?
Those are what the guppies turn into. We want the babies, unfortunately.
Okay.
I hope the babies are just like vibing, like the big ones are, because they were just vibing.
They're kind of tricky to catch, and you'll see why. Also, this puzzle is the one that most often spawns unsolvable. We got very lucky that it was solvable first try there. These are the guppos. The reason why they're hard to catch is because you can only catch them when they're jumping out of the water, and they move in such a way that it makes hard to catch.
So you basically just go one at a time instead of trying to like go to the ones that are in the air. That makes sense.
You have to wait for it.
You gotta want it.
You gotta have that dog in you.
You can make something.
I do have that dog in me, but it is absolutely a Costco hot dog. That's a shirt, big. I'm gonna buy you that shirt. It says I got that dog in me, and then it's just got a photo of the Costco like menu. Which is a hot dog.
You just made my night. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
It's real, and it's so real that I in fact saw somebody at GDQ wearing it.
Just a few minutes left. Make them count.
I love it when local events have good humor.
Yes.
Small local
was-
events.
Yeah, small, local, subtle event.
You
Just like
might have heard of it.
Honestly, it was like a kickback. It wasn't a big thing. Like, it's fine. I didn't literally think that I broke my nose from wearing a mask all week.
This is gonna be unsolvable for a couple rounds. I have a feeling about it.
Cool. BuzzFeed unsolved.
Oh, nope, we got it.
review. Yeah! Complaining works, baby!
You'd be surprised. Calling this game out makes it immediately prove me wrong.
Oh. I only speedrun games where that's the case. Like, if complaining doesn't fix it, I'm not playing the game.
Okay, we've got guppos. We've got our unbanked pyro sticks. We've got the submersible craft. Are you ready to meet the Merc Puff?
Yeah, of course I'm ready to meet the Merc Puff.
Well, get in my octopod, gamer.
Yeah, let's get in the octopod to meet the Merc Puff.
That seems he's
Why did it sound like someone was slurping the bottom of a
it's
milkshake
just
for a
another
second?
being.
You know,
This
that's
means
just
the
what the
monster.
goo sounds like.
Okay,
Don't worry about
I
it.
accept this inherently.
This is my favorite of all of the boss fights. It has a
Oh.
really good rhythm to it, and also, this thing gives me massive Godzilla energy.
Yes. Also, I noticed that it was called the Northwestern World Eater, and is that gonna be your new tagline under your stream?
Only during Northwest Speed Fest.
True. I just like the idea of calling something like, because it sounds like a college. Like you've got the collegiate, and then it's like World Eater. Oh,
Yeah.
I love it.
This thing is perfect. I don't know why this Tortuga is so fuzzy, but I want to pet it.
Fuzzy turtle. He's just hungry. Oh, look at him spread his little toesies.
Phase 2, he hiding. We're mean. He made eggies about it. That's so rude. But the way to get the turtle out of its shell is to use guppos. Because what's better than being alone? A good snack. Now you notice that I'm ignoring the square prompt for this fight. It's because I do way more damage by not doing it, because I can just continue to fight. That particular attack of opportunity is like a 30-second cutscene that does half as much damage as if I continue to shoot at it. All right, phase 3. This is the coolest part.
Yeah. We're yelling.
Oh, you big Yankee. And this is the part where I'm like, yeah, I can see how this game could potentially be called a rhythm game. Because you're using the visual cues and the tones of the song to know what to do. Whether to spin, or whether to shoot, whether to dash, those are all rhythmic timings. This is a cycle-based boss. And that's Murkpuff.
Yeah, so we're just back to the whole rhythm game thing.
Full cycle.
World Eater defeated. Me at the end of every buffet.
The restaurant puts that on the back of your chair.
Yes. It's like when I finally stop grabbing plates, they're like, look, the World Eater's been defeated.
It's time.
It's true.
He's learned.
I'm gonna invite Moose because I love him. Look at him, it's beautiful.
What we have if you
But you know.
Almost whiz note says.
Mad here. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that we have to fight Loopalupin again. Now this is the point of the story where Out of Date's like, we can't leave everything behind until you resolve your past trauma. And so we have to go fight him for 6 rounds of combat. Why? I don't know why. We just do. But before we can do that, we have to talk to Out of Date one more time, because simply returning to Loopalupin is not good enough. We have to get our checkpoint first.
It really is a different world underground.
It's cool. We get to spend more time in this Millennium Falcon.
The day of, if you have, then he says he's.
Han Solo looks really different now that he's out of the carbonite, is all I gotta say. Now you might notice that my main quest is titled End of the World. It's because this is our final boss fight. There's gonna be a little bit of gameplay after we deal with Loopalupin, but the next 10 to 15 minutes is just gonna be fighting him. At which point, all of the consequences of our actions are going to be described in detail by the narrator. At which point you will understand what I mean when I say, none of it matters.
Cool. I love the passe. Like, it's fine. It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter. The beauty of Biomutant is not the conclusion, it's the journey that you take. And I think that's why this game has been so replayable for me. The ending genuinely doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want in this game. It's gonna turn out one of 2 ways. It's fine.
Cool.
And depending on what you're intending to do, you'll probably still mess up and get the other ending. It's fine, don't worry about it. Just enjoy the experience.
Cool. It's fine. You're just there. If you're not in this game for the vibes,
you have a chance
and you're
to stand
actually
back
coming here
and
to
let
like
the tribe
have a
handle
certain thing happen, I feel like I still have news. There's no way. Oh, did you like smack his toesies? And he looked like he kind of ran away from you. For
He
a
did.
second, like,
He absolutely ran away. So if you do too much damage to Loopalupin, he will retreat. Especially
like he
if
made
his
his
grab
toes
attack
rally.
fails.
Oh, he's rolling around.
He's like, ow, you stubbed my toe, gamer.
Stop.
Stop. Mom said I could have the front seat of the car. The cool thing about this, in my first runs of the game, I was using ranged combat exclusively to fight Loopalupin. I haven't really talked about my kit, but the bow that I'm holding does between 800 and 1,000 damage per shot.
Cool.
The sword that I'm using does between 900 and 1,500 damage per slice, and it has a 40% critical rate. So the sword, when it lands a critical, will stun your enemies in a way that the bow simply doesn't. And so I can stun lock Loopalupin with this build.
That's important.
It's very important because if you don't stun lock him, he does all of these like AoE attacks that will send you flying across the arena, and then he'll come flying across the arena. He'll grab you like this, and he'll yeet you so aggressively that it basically stun locks you. So it's a stun lock or be stun locked fight.
You're up.
I mean, that's what the world comes down to sometimes, is you stun lock or you be stun lock. And sometimes people just say very unhinged things for you, like to you, and truly, like, I feel like I get stun locked all the time.
Someone earlier asked, is he beating you with your mother's leg? The answer is no, but the leg that he was smacking you with earlier is still right over there.
Oh, cool.
It's just right there. And the fact that he's not using it says something. We've caught him in a state. Now, you might think that because his health bar is gone, it's over. You're wrong. He burst through the ground and now we have to fight him underground, which means no more lightning bolt.
Well, that makes sense, but I don't like it.
I don't like it either. It also means that he can do these attacks, where he spawns roots at us. I don't know why he has the ability to make roots, but he does.
Like, what is... And not to say, like, why are we here, but, like...
So, my Mooma killed his Mooma because he's a carnivore species, and his Mooma was eating members of our tribe, and she was running out of students to teach Wung Fu to. That's literally the plot. But when our Mooma went and killed his Mooma as like a proactive self-defense measure, it left Lupa Lupin a traumatized orphan who then decided to eat my whole tribe, pluck out my eyeball, and leave me as a wounded orphan. And essentially this storyline is like, how do you break the cycle of violence? Do you forgive or do you seek retribution? Again, extremely ham-fisted morality system in this game, and this is just one leg of it.
You know, not that KOTOR was the first thing to do this, but I feel like when KOTOR had the morale system, everybody went, okay, sick, we're gonna be this way forever now. And it's not necessary. Like, we can have games without morale systems, trust me. We're gonna have our own internally. None of it'll be good.
Stop doing AoE!
Rude. Let's go.
Luckily, I got stuck on a rock and he couldn't Baja Blast me out of range, but oftentimes that is the case. Alright, final phase. He will do way more of the Baja Blast. He'll be schmoovin'. I do have my automaton back, which is nice.
We're getting purpler. We're not doing like evil green. We're doing like evil purple, I feel like.
Bad is neon, jonker colors.
Ah, jonker. You know, I knew that you know, I'm sorry, I have to brush up on my biomutant vocabulary. That I didn't know I had.
You two will be able to translate this game when we leave here today.
I don't know that I'm gonna be able to. I think I'm really thinking about it, and I don't know if that's true. I know this is not the time for you to like console me, considering what you're kind of busy.
All right.
Nice.
We have to live and let live here, just for chaos points, because if you leave Lupa Lupin alive, he continues to eat people after you leave the planet. That is the choice there. But, you know, he's a carnivore. I can't fault him for just doing the things that nature says he needs to do to survive, right?
Yeah.
Now, there was a quest for my homies to follow me to the Ark. I'm going to show you what that looks like. This is our automaton.
When you said no. You've walked the thin line between survival and disaster and haven't lost your balance yet. It's because of you the Tree of Life and
Just
the
enjoy
world
it.
has been given a second chance. You carried the light in a world full of dark and made a difference in a place that needed change.
Okay.
You allied with the Ankati tribe and brought the solidarity needed to keep the world in balance. However, light
There's
and
Muma.
dark
Can I get an
does
effing chat for
simply
Muma? We
represent
never
the
met her, but
dualities
she's been
of
dead this
life.
whole time.
One can't
Rip Muma.
exist
Rip Muma.
without the other.
Long
This
extended
isn't
shot
the
of
end.
Muma's corpse.
Just
All
being
right, the
surrounded
ending will
by
be within the
nature
next
as it
minute.
feels itself will
All we have to
lead
do
you
is
where it
walk
does.
our homies to the
Nature
end
will
of a
teach you
hallway
how
and
to
skip the
survive.
cutscene. When the cutscene
So,
starts, that's when timer's
trust
over.
your
I'm gonna show you the
conscience to show
homies
you the
because
way,
watching them walk
and
is hilarious.
Everything else will follow.
All right, look at them. Look at them go. There they go. There they go.
That's movement. We're moving.
We're schmoving. Okay.
We're moving.
I'm gonna get us in this pathway. Yeah. The game will not be over, of course, but time ends at the end of this hallway in roughly 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's time.
As for
Wow.
Toad,
First of
you
all, good
were
counting.
destined
Thank
to
you.
split the chains of this world.
We were destined to
you're
split
not
the chains of
alone.
the world. Let's
You
see how
filled
many
the
of our
arc,
homies actually
and those
accepted
that
the
shared
offer.
your
I invited
perspective
5,
and
we need
gained
4
your
for
trust
takeoff
will
plus out of
accompany
date.
you on your journey.
We got a full deck. Choo-choo's with
Yeah.
us. Let's go. We got Wiz
Choo-choo.
Tinker Talker. Let's
out
go.
there that's
Buy
better
out of
suited
date. You
for
didn't
those
get a ride.
imbalanced in
You don't
their
got a
right
spot.
nature than this one. Whether
Figure
or
it
not,
out, buddy.
Figure it out. We're leaving
your
out of date
story
behind.
So those who come after will know
Out of date,
you followed
officially
your right
out of date,
nature
expired.
and saved the world. So, when all is said and done, it turned out to be an unusual ending after all. What could be better than ending the story the right way? Ending it your way. A beginning of something new.
And that's Biomutant.
That
I want to say the speedrun only touches about 30% of the game's story.
I know
So
that learning more of the story would have helped me today.
there is so much more content in this game. We barely scraped the surface. There are some truly wondrous and phenomenal things that happen in this game. There are some truly beautiful visuals. There are some experiences in this game that are hard to describe in both positive and negative ways. If you are able to play this game, I recommend it just to see exactly what the experience is like to play, because watching it is not the same as playing it. I know that my platforming was not ideal for some of these sections, but I'm probably making it look easy. This is a buggy, tricky, the combat is like Devil May Cry mashing, so if you adventure into this world, please do so on your own terms.
I did kind of get some Devil May Cry energy out of this at a couple points.
Yeah. That being said, it's a fun game.
When you were like, okay, I'm done talking, you just shot through those credits, huh?
It's a fun game. No, the credits are very long. I'm gonna hold the scroll button. It's still gonna go for like a minute and a half.
Wow.
This game has been localized in so many languages.
I'm feeling whelmed.
You're whelmed?
I'm whelmed.
I am very whelmed too.
Okay, as people who are experiencing this for the first time alongside me, how do we feel about Biomutant? How would you describe this? Because I say this is the game ever. It might be the game of all time.
It is truly the Midwestern casserole of game. like the ones that they call salads, but there's like diced apples and Snickers in there and like pasta.
Classic hot dish. I love it.
Yeah, like something's going on here. Okay, I'm gonna be thinking about this for a long time. I don't know what those thoughts are gonna be, but they are gonna be there.
Nice.
Itch.io link!
Yeah. 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 Sel, how do you think about this game as someone who has experienced it 2 times now?
I'm being reminded of I watched a friend do, I kid you not, a full mixed, a full dark, and a full light 100% playthrough of this game.
Oh.
Way back in the day, I blocked it out because it was so awful.
That's fair. That's fair.
Love my friend. The game is awful. It's you know what? It's giving group project. It's giving group project, except no one read the instructions and everyone just did their own thing, and then showed up 5 minutes before the presentation and just slammed all of, like 7 of their presentations into one PowerPoint and said, "There we go, done."
Yeah, they stayed up all night chugging 5-hour energy, and this is what happened.
And then as the speedrunner, you come in at the end and you make sure that you like do find and replace for all the periods and commas and make them several font sizes larger. Like that's what you did.
By no means is my route perfect, but I think I have done a really good job whittling this particular category down from 4 hours to 2.5-ish.
Yeah, no, you got through an absurd amount of content, I feel like.
It's very impressive to see this condensed into whatever it was we just watched.
Yeah, it sure is a game. And you too can experience it for yourself. Yeah.
I'm gonna need to consult with my therapist and my financial advisor before I agree to this. I'm scared. I'm scared about what this is gonna do to me.
I will say, from a speedrunning perspective, there are different advantages to different ports of the game. Playing it on PC opens you up to a much faster any % route because you can take advantage of the down patching much easier. You can take advantage of pre-established routes and glitches that work really well on that version. If you are a console player like me, you must cope with the fact that when this game was updated 6 months after release, it instigated a bug with the console port only that makes it crash way more often than it used to. And the devs have no intentions of fixing that because they've stabilized the PC port. So pick and choose your battles. I am on the version that requires longer categories with higher risk runs. And there are far fewer resources for my category too.
Can I just point out, it says we can't thank you enough for believing in us. Do we believe in the devs of this game?
Sure do. I believe that they're capable.
They are capable of something.
You know, they're capable of creating a game that exists and is this pretty. And I think
that is true.
it.
It's very pretty.
What if you just turned off the PS5, right? When it was like, hey, don't. Like, and that was the end.
I mean, a non-0% of the time, the game will just close itself and be like, you're done. And I've had that happen anywhere from 5 minutes into the run to halfway through the final boss fight. The game will just be like, I'm done.
I mean, you did say before we started today, you're like, hey, if this crashes, I'm probably just going to be thrilled with it and be like, hey, look at this funky guy go. Like, let's go.
Let's go. Crash the game %.
%. I love it, chat.
Yeah.
Don't %. It's just how quickly can you get the game to give up?
Yeah. And if you're curious about what sort of stuff carries over into New Game Plus, not everything does. You still have to reacquire upgrades for certain things. So, for example, I mentioned that when we got the Goo Glide, there was RNG whether or not we would get an engine in that box at all. Those sorts of things, you do not have the Goo Glide until you get it from the quest, and that resets every run. Otherwise, things like your level ups, your perks, your mutations, your Wung Fu, all the weapons and craftables you make, all of your armor upgrades, and most of your inventory carry over every save. So only the story-related things that you have to go collect are things that you have to go collect, which is really cool. And you also do not have to deal at all with the past segments, which if you were doing a new game run, you would still have to do the prologue, where you're a literal child version of yourself, learning One Fu from your Moo-Ma. And while that's very cute, it's also very sad.
You keep saying words, and I know what all these words mean now, but they're still doing damage to me every single time to hear you say things like when you're a child learning Wung Fu from your Moo-Ma. Is you are allowed to string these syllables together, but I don't know how I feel about them.
That's so valid.
I'm like, that's the end of the sentence. It's just I'm. Oh boy.
All right, but Big and Jaypeg, folks want to see more of either or both of you. Where can they find you?
Well, I live on the Twitch as twitch.tv/Big Scared. You can find me here. I'm also in most places as Big Scared. There are 2 exceptions on the site formerly known as Twitter. I'm Big Scared with no punctuation, no spaces. And that username is also where I live on Instagram, although I don't really use that platform too much. Additionally, you can find me running this game again tomorrow night over on GDQ Hotfix for Legally Cute. So if you want more Biomutant with potentially different questions coming up and different info dumping, you can see me there tomorrow.
Let's do it. I'll be there in the chat. Not.
Jaypeg, how about you?
You can find me on Twitter at also Jaypeg, or on Twitch at Jaypeg_EXE. I will be starting up a streaming schedule soon that'll include like crafting and stuff like that. But if you need me in the meantime, check on Twitter, or also a plug for the Lady Arcaders Twitter. I am a member of the social media team, so if you think that I'm funny, make sure you're following Lady Arcaders on Twitter, because sometimes that is me. You get double the JPEG. It's a bargain.
Indeed.
And so,
thank you.
Before we get out of here, where can we find you?
Oh, if you want to find me, you can find me on Twitch at Selcouthmind. If you want to find the rest of my socials, I do have a website, selcouthmind.neocities.org. You will find all the links that you could ever want there.
NeoCities. I'm sad that wasn't GeoCities, but
I know. It's the new thing.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for this showcase. This has been wild. I think that's the only word I have to say for this. Wild. I will remember this.
Would you
Was it
say
bio?
it's
For a
been
while.
funky?
It has exceeded my funk expectations.
Nice.
We are Thursday night funkin'.
But chat, don't worry, the funk is gonna continue. We are gonna transition to intermission for a few intermissions, few announcements. You know, words are getting jumbled. We might as well just start speaking Biomutant. But you know what? Stay tuned. Please hold. There's more coming before we finish. All right, everyone. Was that a fantastic run? I am honestly still processing what happened. 10 out of 10, no notes. Fantastic game. Y'all should check it out. You should also all go check out more of Big Scared. But that has been the end of our attract mode tonight, but have no fear, there's going to be more attract mode coming. Tonight we watched a big run through A Brave New World. On Sunday on attract mode, we're going to watch 2 more players make the brave journey through new games. That's right, the first playthrough race is back, and this time Eliza has tasked NBZ and Vale with playing through Puzzling World of Boor. Boor? I think that's how you say that. I don't know. Tune in on Sunday, January 28th at 2 p.m. Eastern to find out, first of all, how you say the name of that game, but also who is going to make it out first in that first playthrough race. First playthrough races are always a great time. You will not want to miss that. And if you, yes, you, my dear viewer, want to be on attract mode, showcases are always open, and right now we are scheduling for February. So if you have an idea, this could be anything from crafting to art to a game showcase to a speedrun, anything as long as it's gaming related, we are willing to consider it. So if you want to do something, send in your pitch at ladyarcaders.com/start. And we are more than happy to take a look at them and hopefully get you in on the schedule, get to showcase some amazing, fantastic games. That has been all for me for the night. Again, I have been Selcouthmind. Thank you for watching. We are going to go raid, and I believe we are raiding a variety pack. Lovely, lovely individual and speedrunner. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be doing that. And thank you for watching. Thank you for memeing in chat. Thank you for having sips of water, for Sifu thanking us. We will see you. And next time, have a great night.